What is good, y'all? It is Mikey T, the movie star. What is good? It is your boy Mikey T, the movie star. I am back. It is the most hated yet anticipated. It's the kid. It's the kid you'd rather be. Mikey T, the kid you'd rather be. What is going on, everyone? Let's let this chat fill up a little bit. I'm gonna spark something up. Just took a little pre-show shot of Henny. About to light up this J. Let's see what's going on with everybody tonight. Hold on, who's this? Hello? Yo, I just jumped on live, bro. I gotta call you back. What's up, though? That was my guy Sal, my G from Hartford. That was my G from Hartford right there. West Philly in the building. Salute to West Philly. Just gonna enjoy this J real quick. Let the people load into the chat. Everybody load into the chat. Definitely appreciate everybody logging in tonight. Appreciate everybody that checked out the Snyp Life interview a little bit earlier. Tonight, we're going to be speaking on a couple different topics. Tonight, we're going to be speaking on French Montana, the wave god himself. Ow. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about French Montana. We're going to be talking about Gucci Man. We're also going to be talking about the game and 50 Cent. We have a lot of topics tonight, you guys. We have quite a few topics. I appreciate everybody tapping in. Appreciate everybody joining me. Go ahead and share this video. Hit that like button. Show me that you support the channel. Blizzy, what is going on? I appreciate you tapping in tonight. What's going on, Bashir? Definitely appreciate you tapping in. Schizo is in the building as always. Major salute. Just smoking this J as we prepare to get the show started. I'll let you guys know we have a couple different topics tonight we're going to touch on. It's going to be quite an event. quite an event of a show. I'm really looking forward to it tonight. I hope you all are as well. Hit that like button, share this video. Salute my guy Mars. Let me just get this link sent off to my co-hosts. You know, we got to get the homie Twiz in here. We got to get Rosewood in here. My guys from Philly always holding me down. Let me see. Okay. Hopefully I didn't send that link to AR Rab on accident. Not like he would be able to access it. Salute my brother AR Rab. We was actually just chatting this afternoon. Let me see. Let me get this to Rosewood and we can get started. Everybody share this video. We got some hot topics for y'all tonight. Yo, Buck. Oh, you talking about Deb? You talking about Deb, Buck? You talking about how Deb was talking about the altercation that happened with French Montana and Gucci Man when French first made his way to Atlanta? Well, I don't want to say first made his way to Atlanta, but when he first made his way to Atlanta to actually work with Gucci Man on a record that French Montana says was straight cash. Now, we all know Straight Cash was one of French Montana's singles, and a lot of us know that Gucci Man actually did appear on the remix. You're right, Buck. What up, James Brown? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Young Money 565 in the building. Major salute to you. Definitely appreciate you tapping in. Everybody go ahead and share this video. We got some great topics to touch on tonight. Some hip-hop facts to touch on tonight. You know what I mean? Some old hip-hop stories. Hell yes. Yes, sir. Just got the word from Twiz. He'll be tapping in shortly. Buck, no. From what I heard, it was $5,000 that Gucci Man did not end up getting French Montana for. French Montana went to Atlanta to secure a feature for the Straight Cash single. If you guys remember, French Montana was working on a song called Straight Cash that he was promoting as his first major single after all the buzz that he had garnered from working with Max B. French had a song called Straight Cash, and it only made sense at that point to actually put, you know, it only made sense at that point to put Gucci Man on it. Gucci was the most buzzing artist in the street. A few years later, we actually saw French Montana work with Waka Flocka on Chop It Down more successfully, because at that point, more of the interest of the industry, more of the interest of the general public was actually triggered in French's direction. Straight Cash, he was really trying to break through the bubble. Appreciate that. Steven Rivera, he said, great job on the Snyp Life interview, Mikey T. Definitely appreciate everybody who has checked out the Snyp Life interview that I just did today. Appreciate everybody that checked out the Snyp Life interview today. Some real thorough stories on that one, dating back to D Block, but even further, dating back to the LOX era. You know what I mean? That's why I do this shit, you guys, to dig into those old stories. And I actually got Snyp Life explaining to me some of the fundamental reasons as to why the LOX was so heavily respected in New York. Stephen Q, my guy Steve Q is in the building. He says Montana used to have some dope mixtapes. Yeah, French was one of the biggest innovators when it came to the mixtape scene. I mean, if you're talking Casino Life, if you're talking Coke Wave, you know what I mean? What else did he have? What was that other, the Cleanup Man? No. It wasn't called the Cleanup Man. What was it called? Somebody refresh my mind in here. But I really liked some of the joints that he was doing with DJ Holiday. Obviously, he linked up with 3-6 Mafia. He was doing some joint projects with artists as well. He was really, what did he do with Waka? It was called Lockdown. Or was it Lockdown or Lockout? He was doing a lot of work, you guys. French really had brought up and put together a real wide variety of mixtapes. I'm not sure how many in total it was. I heard him say it on an interview in the past. It was like something like 15 or 13 to 20 mixtapes that French Montana had put out in preparation of his career. My favorite, obviously, out of the series is the Coke Wave joints that he had done with Max B. And French, at a certain point in time, had actually told me that there would be a Coke Wave album, or maybe it was Coke Wave Records. We'll have to wait and see what happens when Max B gets out of jail. And we know, everybody watching this video should know that Max B will be out of jail pretty damn soon, y'all. Max B will be out of jail pretty damn soon. We've been waiting since 2009. Hoping and praying that he would come home, you know what I mean? Supporting the wave, signing the petition, or just generally supporting however we could. And I can tell you now, in the next few years, Max is definitely going to come home. I read a date that said as soon as 2025, you guys. Excuse me 1 second, just share this video. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in tonight. Montana was fire with the mixtapes. Yeah. Mac with the Cheese. Yeah, exactly. The Mac and Cheese series, where he had records like Sanctuary. French actually wanted to record a Mac and Cheese and release it as an album, but that never actually really came to fruition. He was trying to do his second album, I believe, was it Mac and Cheese 4? What up, Laura? Appreciate you for tuning in. Coke Wave, then the Coke Boys. Yep, the Coke Boys projects followed. I want to say there was 3 Coke Boys projects. French was on his shit, you guys. French was on his shit. When it came to work in the music industry, French was on it. He didn't stop. He had that grind that he still evidently has today, you know, with F With Me, Get a Bag. He's releasing that out of the blue. He's releasing that just to build hype. That's what French really always did in his career. That's why French went down to Atlanta to work with Gucci Mane. French went to Atlanta to work with Gucci Mane to put the most relevant artist in the street, the most relevant street buzzing artist on his project. You know what I'm saying? So French was actually doing the right thing when he went to go work with Gucci Mane and Deb. And I guess somebody in the chat said the interview that Deb had actually done, Deb Antony, who had, I guess she had started doing managing Gucci Mane at a certain point, and then the whole industry looked at her like she was the most popping manager in the game. You know what I mean? Somewhat similar to Treyway Shotty, but Deb had become the go-to manager. When Gucci Mane couldn't get his finances right, they said that Deb is the one who really helped him get everything in order. She was really just putting together an artist that was already there, in my opinion, because Gucci Mane had really blossomed into a megastar, but he just didn't have the right people behind him. I know at a certain point he had Jimmy Henchman behind him, the same people that were working with the game, but Gucci had gone in, served his bid, beat the charges, came back with one of the most undeniable buzzes in the industry, you guys. Young D, you're capping in at the right time. So French Montana went to work with this group that had one of the biggest buzzes in the industry. Share this video, you guys. French Montana went out there to work with Gucci Mane to get Gucci Mane on one of his lead singles. Now, if memory serves, Straight Cash had come out after Max B had been locked up. This was French Montana's single to the world to show the people that he wasn't just going to be the guy rapping alongside Max B. Because in all honesty, French Montana had a career just like Max had a career, just like Max was with Bird Gang, and just like Max, you know what I mean, was a solo artist, and just like Max had come with French. French Montana was on the battling scene. French Montana had created Cocaine City, and French Montana had really started to put out his own music. He was doing videos with guys like Maserati Fox. Eventually, he even landed in videos with guys like Wiz, Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? All these guys, a who's who of hip hop. French Montana really built himself up. Steve Q says they had a similar mixtape grind. Young D, appreciate you for tapping in. Mars, true. Game verse fifth would be fire. That's another one of our topics tonight, you guys. The Game has officially named his price for the 50 Cent verses. You know what I'm saying? I think 50 Cent's price is going to be considerably higher, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Right now, we're actually covering French Montana, who had started to blow up. French Montana, who had started to become one of the biggest names in New York alongside Max B on the underground circuit, on the circuit of artists that were unsigned. Now, Max B went away. Max still had a weird contract situation, and that's why a lot of labels were staying away from him. Amalgam Digital actually came in and did their thing. But once Max B went away, the people looked at French like, okay, what are you going to do now? This is your opportunity. You've got the ball. You've got to run with it. You've got the ball. You've got to run with it. French Montana came out with Straight Cash, and then he actually went down to Atlanta to get Gucci Mane on the Straight Cash feature, which would have been an undeniable move. Undeniable move, except for the fact that French Montana hadn't really broke the mainstream industry radar. If French Montana had been somebody like, say, Rich, the rich boy, the rich kid dude who had to throw some D's, then he comes out with a remix with Gucci, it'd be a much more significant situation. But French Montana, at the position he was in, you know, he was really just getting that feature with Gucci Mane to break another layer, like to go down there and break the layer of Atlanta that he later broke with linking with Waka Flocka, getting the recognition from Rick Ross, later Puff Daddy and Drake. You guys see how the story goes. Straight Philly 215 in the building. Definitely appreciate you tapping in, man. We're going over a couple stories because French Montana actually did an interview with Super Cindy, who actually works with a couple of my homies, Zeus. Major salute, Dr. Zeus, producer. He actually just did the new record. Yeah, that's right, guys. I mess with some heavy hitters. Zeus actually just did the new record with Pooh Shiesty and Kodak Black. That's right. So, salute my guy Zeus. He actually just did the record called Ripstick. Is that what it's called, you guys? Ripstick? Sorry, y'all. I mean, it's my homie. I should know, but it's not called RIP Stick. It's called Ripstick. My man actually produced that, Kodak Black and Pooh Shiesty. Major salute to EC. They be working with Super Cindy, and Super Cindy actually brought out the hard questions, the questions that the industry wants to hear about. She actually asked French Montana, what happened with the whole situation with Gucci Mane allegedly robbing you? Thank you, G-Lo. Appreciate you. Major salute, my guy, Dr. Zeus. Let me find his Instagram so y'all can go blow him up. My guy, Dr. Zeus, produced the new Ripstick record with Kodak Black and Pooh Shiesty, which that record came out of nowhere, you guys, in all honesty. Let's say, like, keep sharing this video, you guys. Share this video. Hit the like button. Okay. Looks like we got my co-host in the building. Everybody, put your hands together for my guy representing Philly. Philly's in the building. Rosewood, what is poppin', G's?
Mikey T, what up, good? What up, Jay? What up, man? Working, man. Working.
No, I was just talking to everybody about the fact that my guy Dr. Zeus from Miami actually produced the Ripstick for Kodak Black featuring Pooh Shiesty.
Yep. Oh, he did that, Joe? Okay.
Yep. My guy going crazy. We had sent French like 30 beats. You know what I mean? French seemed pretty receptive. You know what I mean? Like I was telling you, I don't know if I had told you that, but I was sending some beats back and forth with French Montana and shit. But tonight, French is actually our topic, man. We're talking about a couple different things. We're speaking on French Montana and the Gucci Mane situation, which I'm not sure if you're aware of, but we're also going to be talking about the Game and 50 Cent. The Game has named his price for a Verzuz with 50.
Yeah. He set a price. Steve, always a pleasure, my G. Thanks for tapping in. You already know what's up, man. Salute to you, my G.
Devontae said Gucci over Jeezy. Real quick, what's your opinion on that? Devontae says Gucci over Jeezy. What's your take?
It's Gucci a real street dude. Devontae.
Well, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, man. I'm taking Jeezy over Gucci all day, man. Record sales, street anthems. I don't care however much you like So Icy. So Icy is not better than Soul Survivors. There's no way in hell.
No, but I mean, music wise, yeah, you want to take Jeezy all day, but the street's gonna take Gucci over Jeezy.
Okay.
What up, Straight Philly?
Bashir says, "Yo, Mikey, we need you to catch Quilly Mills. Yeah, you got to catch Cuz he slid through the city on some other shit. Nothing personable, but you got the hottest interviews." Yeah, I would like to catch up with Quilly for an interview, and it had actually come across my desk. OTH had presented me with an opportunity to interview Quilly, But, over the years, I've been presented with multiple opportunities to interview Quilly where it just didn't work out. So if Quilly can get, first of all, I want Quilly to focus on getting his own career back together before I just focus on throwing a camera in front of his face. You know what I mean? So if Quilly at a certain point in time would be up for an interview, most definitely. But I would like to see Quilly just continue to work to get himself back in order and his career back to where it needs to be. And all respect to Quilly.
Fact, shout out Quilly, man. Shout out Quilly. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing, man.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think like Quilly is just gonna just jump in front of a camera until he's got a clear thing to promote. A lot of dudes from Philly be like that, Rosewood. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to Louis V. Gutta, and Gutta was like, "Yo, Mikey, as soon as I got the new project ready to go, we in there for an interview." You know what I mean? But some dudes aren't just going to be talking to talk, Rosewood.
Oh, because we got real stuff going on here in the city of Philadelphia.
Right.
You know, the homicide rate is off the hook. Everybody's still trying to live life. Everybody's still trying to do what they gotta do. So it's hard right here in the city. Real hard.
It looks like the people are rocking with me, though. But let's get into this topic here, man. So French Montana starts to make his buzz in the game. You know what I mean? Through the, he was doing this battle circuit for a little bit. He came up with the DVDs, and then he put together his own various mixtapes.
Fact.
So French Montana linked with Max B, and he really got a wave at that point. Max B went to jail, and the people were sort of like, "Okay, the ball's in your hand now, French. You got to run with it. You got to shoot. You got to put up numbers." French Montana comes out with the song Straight Cash after that. Rosewood, do you remember Straight Cash?
Yeah, I remember Street Cash because I was rocking with French Montana. I was rocking with French Montana and Max B. So when Max B went to jail, it was like they said, "Well, look, ball in your court, run with it." And he went on a fast break. And after that, he would drop just mixtapes. I don't know if it was Coke Wave first or Cocaine City first. I'm not sure, but it was one of those first. And on those projects, he always gave you at least like three bangers, and he would just give you that, keep those projects going, and give you three bangers, so you know what you was getting from Prince Montana until he was able to push through the mainstream and drop that major song. And he was always good with features. That's the thing. He was always good
Right.
on features.
Right. So that's where Gucci Man comes in, right? So at this point, French Montana drops Straight Cash, the most buzzed about rapper in the industry, but yet in the streets was Gucci Man. So French Montana made his way. And plus, another thing about French, they were saying you need to break out. So I think another thing about French was he wanted to head down to the southern markets. And I think that's why he embraced Atlanta. Before we get into the feature talk, I'm going to ask you this. But before we get into that, I'm going to bring in my guy, SV Twiz. We got the hood blogger about to join us right here.
Hey, yo. Salute,
But
fellas. Mikey T. Rosewood. What's up with y'all, man? Salute to
look,
y'all.
my
What's good?
G,
What?
Twiz,
Uh,
what is popping, man?
chilling, man. Chilling. You know how we do it, man. We treat Wednesdays like Friday nights, man. You already
you
know, man.
already know
Ready to get this
that.
thing lit, man. What's good, y'all?
So, Twiz, right now I'm about to ask Rosewood a question about French Montana, just so you can get in tune where we're at.
Okay.
Rosewood, I want to ask you, after French Montana made such a name for himself, and made those mixtape series with Coke Wave, with Max B, and he literally had the streets of New York on his side. They said, French, the ball's in your hand. You gotta do something. You gotta make your mark. How important do you think it was for French to go down there and get the respect from them southern markets like Atlanta?
Very important because that was the wave of the future anyway. And a lot of people in New York at that time, they were going against that. They were still trying to keep the essence of New York and say, if you're going down there, you're branching out. But French had the foresight to see that No, this is what's going to be next. This is what's going to be in, what's going to be popping. Let me go tap in down there in that market right now. And like you see where he went to, he went to Gucci Man. He ain't go to Jeezy. He went to Gucci Man because Gucci Man got the streets, and they know they can make a bag there for the streets. And that's what
Right.
they did.
Now, Twiz, the record we're talking about is a joint called Straight Cash that French Montana put out after. It might have been along the same time as the Coke Wave series or right after, but it's the record that French focused on at first. And he went down to Atlanta to link up with Gucci Man for the remix. Now, Rosewood said he didn't choose Young Jeezy. Personally, I think that's because of the bag, man. To get a Jeezy feature back then, it had to be like 50,000 plus. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Twiz, let me get your opinion on that, on French going down to work with Gucci Man after building that buzz with Max. But also, I want to ask you, because I asked Rosewood before you popped in, were you more into Gucci or Jeezy?
Jeezy. I was more into Jeezy. I was more in my trap or die bag. You know what I mean? And Gucci that nigga too, but Jeezy was, you know what I'm saying? Jeezy Jeezy was hitting hard, you know what I mean? Like Jeezy music was definitely hitting hard. And just to say real quick, I see you, Mars. Salute to you too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Salam alaikum, sending salams back and all that. But yeah, I was more of a Jeezy man, Mikey. You know what I'm saying?
So what did you think about the fact that French Montana, though, at this point of his career was turning up from, from the features with guys like Maserati Fox, the features from Max B's, to now graduating to a guy who had Billboard success in Gucci Man? How far do you think that was really supposed to take him?
I think it was supposed to, take him to the sky. Because if we all remember, Mikey, and I know you remember this, you know what I'm saying? Because this is like your era where you started, like, interviewing and getting in the media. But you remember the Cocaine City, John, right? French Montana had that. He came from that. You know what I mean? I remember he was pulling up on rappers like he wasn't a rapper. You know what I mean? And he just surprised the whole world, showing that he was talented. So, I felt as though he was playing chess from the beginning, and he had everything well thought and planned out before he made any moves.
Yep. And so I just think the fact that French wasn't fully mainstream, I think the fact that he wasn't fully mainstream is the reason that Straight Cash with Gucci Man wasn't a major breakthrough. French Montana's success came a little bit later when he started to attract the attention of Ross and Drake. But Deb Antony, the manager, I guess she's Waka's mom and Frenchie's aunt, and she had started managing Gucci Man at a certain point. Because you guys, I don't know if you guys remember, but the games manager, Jimmy Henchman, was actually managing Gucci at a certain point.
I remember that.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that. You just schooled me on something.
That's what's so icy. That's what's so icy with when him and Jeezy have so icy. He was managed by Jimmy Henchman.
I thought Gucci was always managed by Waka mom. Damn, I never knew that.
It was Jimmy Henchman first.
Damn.
Yeah, so basically, Deb was managing all these guys, that were getting popping. And Deb was kind of like the hottest manager in the industry at that point. You obviously know about that, Twiz. She had become like the hottest manager. Everybody wanted to go meet her. And you know what? If somebody had a little bit of style, they could actually make sense with her. Just like, like a Waka, like a Gucci. Like Gucci was really already there, but Deb did a couple extra things to make him fully be there. And I don't know if it was helping him get off the drugs or just helping him maintain his schedule more. But you know what I mean? That's why people gave Deb so much credit. So French Montana went down there to link with her, and her first thing is do a record with Gucci. Do a record with Gucci. Now, guys, I want to tell you something that Freaky Zeke actually told me in my very first interview. He said, Mikey T, if I'm in Atlanta and I'm in the studio with an artist like, say, Gucci Man, he used Gucci Man for example. He said, I can get that feature from Gucci Man that night for $5,000. Now, if I just hit Gucci Man up and wanted to do it through a third party or do it through the internet or do it like that, it would probably cost like $20,000 or $30,000. If you actually go to the studio and meet up with these guys, they ain't gonna turn down $5,000 when you put it in front of their face.
I agree. I agree. You know, especially being live and in person, you know, they can see your determination and things, and you can connect with them as a human being. Whereas so you got people middleman and they can just throw a number up real quick.
Right.
And the
Now,
middleman, what would you say,
my bad,
Rosewood? No, I was
No,
just
I
saying that my fault. I'll let you go ahead, Rosewood. My fault.
no, I was just going to ask Mikey T. Do you think Chris Montana was offered that option with Young Jeezy? You know, like you said, Jeezy probably wanted the bag, maybe through a third party. But if he was to meet Jeezy in the studio,
Now let's look at it like that. I got a feeling Young Jeezy was at the point where he wouldn't come out the house for $5,000, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. I got a feeling that Jeezy is that type of dude where he was making. That's why, like, before you logged in, Twiz, my answer to that was I'll say that Soul Survivor was probably a bigger record than Gucci Man has ever had. You know what I mean? Like, Gucci Man, compared to Jeezy, like the record sales weren't even similar. This guy Jeezy was selling hundreds of thousands of units in 1 week. That means 300,000 people went to the various trap houses in America, in the United States, and picked up Thug Motivation 101 and Thug Motivation 102, you know?
And let's not forget, Jeezy was with Meech and them before he was even in. You know, he had the endorsement from Big Meech. You know what I'm talking about? Like he was rolling with these guys, and you know, allegedly, like Jeezy said, he came in the game already a millionaire. So he wasn't the type of artist that would bite for anything. Where Gucci really came from the trenches and the struggle. Jeezy came from the trenches too, but you know, like Gucci was a regular nigga. You know what I mean? Like he
Gucci didn't have the machine behind him.
exactly.
And because he was a street dude, the machines ain't want to jump behind Gucci. And it was always
Facts.
like Gucci was like the underdog to Jeezy. And
Jeezy,
I think that's why Gucci went so hard. Because he knew the majors wasn't going to mess with him because of his cases and all that. You know, so he
exact
went hard.
exactly what you said, Rosewood. Just like Jeezy said, he had to put money. He put money behind most of his first music. Like his first music, he was putting his own money behind it, and he was, you know, fortunate to be able to have enough money to, you know, get his stuff rolling in a professional manner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's why I think Dev coming in and helping Gucci was able to bring him into a professional manner a little bit more and organize and structure his situation so he's not all over the place.
Facts, big facts.
What's this say? Mars says Jeezy like to drink. Jeezy like to mix Armor Hammer with the. Is that a lyric?
Facts. That's his song. Jeezy like to drink. Jeezy like to smoke. Jeezy like to mix Arm and Hammer with his. I don't want to say that word and mess the stream up, but you already know. That was that trap music right there for real, man. It ain't matter if you. It don't matter if you had an ounce or an 8 ball. It hit you hard.
Yes, man.
Did either of you, Twiz, did you ever get your hands on one of the Snowman shirts?
No, I ain't never take it that far, but all his mixtapes and things like that, you know what I mean? This was back when, remember Mikey and Rosewood, when people had the tees, the Jones come down there to your kneecaps. They had the husky t-shirts and all of that. Just like that Jeezy the Snowman said, you know, the 4X black tee, and it's a million mother feeling just like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what
you guys, it might be a little bit off topic, but I just did an interview with Snyp Life, and I want to give a major shout out to Bucky, man. Snyp Life had told me Bucky was really the only one from Philly repping D Block. Bucky's locked up free Bucky. We'll have information for everybody to write Bucky. Twiz, do you have anything you wanted to say about Bucky?
Man, I got a lot. This not a lot to say, but free Bucky. Bucky was a lyrical assassin from North Philly. He got signed with the D Block. Remember, like we talked about it a while ago. He was in with the D Block wave and all of that, and he was a very lyrical monster. He was an important factor to the streets, and he also dealt with DVD people. Like he was like cool with like Stunt Woods, and people like that. And he showed love, but he got caught up in an unfortunate situation where right now, he's serving a life sentence for catching a homicide allegedly. And when I did the interview with Bully said that he was supposed to be trying to get in the pill, so God's willing he can come back because he was a lyrical monster. Inshallah, the island.
So let's get into it, you guys. French Montana allegedly goes to do the record with Gucci Man, and I believe someone in the chat said something like $30,000, but I believe what I heard was it was a $5,000 feature. Gucci Man came in, listening to the beat, and then the rumor is that he ducked out. I believe Deb had said on Drink Champs that he ducked out while they were recording. So Super Cindy, shout out Super Cindy from Miami. She actually works with my guys, Dr. Zeus and EC. Dr. Zeus had just produced Ripstick for Kodak Black and Pooh Shiesty Twiz. And Super Cindy did an interview with French where she asked him the hard question of what happened that time when Gucci Man came to the studio and allegedly robbed you for money and didn't do the verse. Allegedly walked away with the money for the verse. French Montana cleared it up and said, first of all, the record actually did get finished. The record was the Straight Cash remix. Now, I'm going to give my opinion first before I let you guys give your opinion on this. Rosewood, I'll go with you first. But I think that sometimes when you record a joint with somebody, you're not always going to get it done on the first go round. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to need to take that record home with you. Sometimes you're going to need to sit with it for a second. But, yo, guys, before we get Rosewood, we're going to get back to that in 1 second. But I got to bring in, we have a special guest tonight, you guys. We have a special guest right here. I actually did an interview with this guy today. I'm going to put the interview link up right now in the chat. Before I bring him in, I'm going to bring in my special guest, or our special guest, I should say, right now.
What song goes like?
Let me give him the proper introduction. Snyp Life from D Block.
Salute.
Like, what's up, good brother? Salute to you. Much love and respect, man.
Yes, sir. Likewise, man. What's going on with y'all gentlemen?
Can't call it. Just hanging in there, man.
No doubt. Mikey T, what up? What's good?
Snyp, man. I'm just on here tonight with my co-host. I got Rosewood from Philly in the building, and I got my guy SV Twiz from Somerville.
Super dope, man. Yeah,
And
man.
you know,
Happens. What's up real quick? See what y'all had going on, know what I'm saying?
and Snyp, we were actually just speaking on Bucky. I actually just brought up Bucky. So I wanted to bring you in to tap in about Bucky because, you know, the guys are from Pennsylvania, Rosewood rep. The guys are repping Philly, man. And you had told me that Bucky was actually the Philly representation of D Block. We didn't get too much time to talk about it. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, man. Phil, free my brother Raw Buck first off. You know what I'm saying? Bucky is the only artist from Philly that was really an official D Block member. We got ties with Philly that go way back to Major Figures and, you know, State Prop, way from before everybody really got on. You know what I'm saying? But as far as really the D Block wave and the movement and the project that we put together as far as the No Security album, Bucky played an important part of that. Unfortunately, when we actually dropped No Security, he had already got jammed up with this case. You know what I mean? So he do have a life bid right now. He's serving a life bid. I've been keeping him alive on anything I do. I always rep for them, rock for them, shout them out. I'm in contact with them. You can look on my Instagram page. I gotta probably share a newer one, but if you scroll like through my Instagram page, I left his information up there. If anybody wanted to write him, feel free. You could reach out to him and shit. He would appreciate that. And I know from doing a bid, from being in prison, little shit like that go a long way. You know what I mean? And my bro was ill. He was fucking. I'm telling you, he was like one of the fucking hardest niggas I ever been around. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah, man. Shout out to Raw Bucky, man. Philly's own, man. Word up.
Facts. That's love, man. And salute to y'all for having Bucky, man, because we love y'all out Philly, man. We that's what all we was twisting.
Facts.
If we wasn't twisting like state proper figures, it was that D block. You know what I'm saying? The locks, bro. Like
Sir. Yes, sir.
That real life music.
Word. And I told Mikey T during the interview, we had a series of conversations about certain like legendary rap beefs. And I just say that to y'all being from Philly. Yo, real talk from our side of the camp. The only real fucking rap beef the Locks ever really considered was real was with Beans. That was the only real, like everything else, that shit was child's play, man. That shit was about nothing. But with Beans in them, that shit was real. Like, know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
you already know the type of vibe, we always kind of shared with Philly. So, and
Already.
the TLA is our second home. I can't wait to get back to TLA, you heard?
Big facts, facts, man.
D-Block was always in the TLA.
Seriously, man. Seriously.
So just to reflect on it a little bit, Bucky was actually featured with Sheik Luch and Styles P on the first track on No Security, So Much Trouble,
Yep.
Produced by Vinny Idol. Do you want to speak on that for a second, Snyp?
Yeah, that's our brother. Shout out to Vinny. That's our brother, D-Block, producer, day one. Yeah, man, that was the first one really out the gate. Like our whole plan with the No Security album was we was gonna drop a street record and we was gonna drop a radio record. The street record I was on, which was called Like That, y'all, the Pete Rock joint, and the radio joint was To Get That Paper. You know what I mean? Featuring SI was singing on that, another member of ours in the camp at that time. But there's So Much Trouble. That record actually kick-started the album. That record set the tone for that album. And Buck was a part of that. Bucky was a part of that. So I could never take that from my brother. Like, he set the fucking tone on that shit. And if for the fans, if y'all familiar or haven't heard, like when we dropped the No Security album, back then it was like, the promo was we would drop a mixtape, a couple dope freestyles before an artist would drop his album. He would go on the radio and give you something crazy. So what we did was we dropped a mixtape called Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Classic D-Block mixtape. Bucky's all over it. It was just something that we wanted to get the attention of the streets before we dropped the No Security. So I'm real proud of that mixtape. That shit was crazy. And like I said, man, those were the times where like you would hear my boy Bucky going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. D-Block.
I remember that, man.
Bro, man.
Before I let the guys ask you a question or two, Snyp, the next record is actually called That's D-Block. It's Styles P, Bucky, Straw, Large Amount, AP, and yourself. That was actually produced by Vinny Idol as well. So were both of these records, That's D-Block and So Much Trouble, were they both created in the same day, potentially?
Nah, I don't think it was the same day. It was already done. I would say like we already was recording that album for like a good 8 months strong before like the album actually came out. So like it was just different moments, different situations, different sessions that we was recording different shit, and we just kind of mixed and matched everything together. So that So Much Trouble, if I had to compare the two, I would say we recorded That's D-Block first. And then so much trouble came a little more closer to when we was actually dropping the album. Word.
That's what's up. Yo, so guys, I want to let you guys get in a question. Everybody in the chat, my interview that dropped today with Snyp Life is pinned up. If you guys want to go check it out right now. Hold on 1 second. Why did I get that wrong right there? But Rosewood, did you have any question you wanted to ask Snyp Life? Rosewood, you're muted, bro.
My bad. First and foremost, everybody check out the Snipe Life interview with Mikey T, man. That
Sure.
was excellent, man. You know,
Sure.
shout out Snipe Life, man, holding it down, man. You know, once again, free Bucky. You
Yes, sir.
know, a question I had, because when Bucky stepped on the scene back then, like, the streets of Philly was, like, so proud. And we was like, dang, we got another person from Philly definitely making their mark. And it was really when you said that, like, he got booked when y'all were in the middle of the process. Now I understand, because we were like, dang, we stopped seeing them. And in Philly, we, like, everybody wasn't privy to know what was going on. You know, at that time, we didn't have the internet. But I would want to ask now, Bucky, yes, he's definitely a lyrical beast, but how did y'all determine to get Bucky out of all the other MCs in Philly? Because we have so many talented
Right.
MCs,
That's a
a
good
lot of
question.
talented MCs that mess with D Block prior. So how
Right.
did y'all narrow it down?
That's a good question. Honestly, I wasn't there when they made the initial, thing. I was always told Bucky came from Styles. I was always told Styles handpicked Bucky. So I'm not really sure how that happened. Like I said, but Styles was the one who brought Bucky in. I came later. Like, if y'all watch the interview, you'll see I was already moving my own company during this actual time when these brothers all formed. So when I walked in the door, Bucky was already there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was already there. I literally was the last guy that walked in for that project. So, but that's the only thing I really could say about that. But was that Bucky was handpicked by Styles, definitely.
Okay.
Twiz, I'm gonna pass it over to you, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I gotta start it off. Salute to you, Snipe Life, man. Much love and respect.
Thank you,
And
brother.
real rap. And we appreciate you for keeping intact with Bucky, because like you said, mail and visits and commissary, man, that's what you look forward to inside the clink, besides
Right.
getting home or a pill. But a question I gotta ask you is, what was one of your most memorable moments with
One
D
of,
Block and the Locks?
one of my most memorable moments. Man, so many, bro. So many. I just appreciated everything that I was able to be a part of. I will say, damn, one ill moment for me was again, as my timeline would have it, before I became an official D Block member working on No Security, I already had a track record and a name based off of my independency with my company 354. So this company 354 that I was the face of pretty much had been through all the DVDs and all the mixtapes and things of that nature before I got to that point. So I'll say that to say, I always knew that the D Block brand, what it would do for me would obviously elevate me even more from where I was. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that these are my childhood friends, that it made it even more of a reality that like this is the real shit right here. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I know this is what it's gonna do for me. So we was on tour. It was the Locks tour, I believe it was the Trinity tour. That tour started in New York and went west and ended back in New York. When we was out west, we hit everything moving out west. LA, downtown, all through LA. Downtown LA, Oakland, the Bay, you know what I'm saying? Phoenix, we hit everything. One particular stop, we was in the Bay. Rest in peace to the Jackal. I remember he came through. Very influential brother. So that was a pleasure and an honor to be around the Jackal. People in the Bay know what's up. Salute. We get on stage, right? This is the illest shit. So we get on stage. I'm not gonna say no name. I'm a realist, so sometimes it'd be hard for me to tell stories because I don't want to drag nobody under the bus, right? But one of my brothers, this is a true fact. One of my brothers was on stage. He was doing his thing. The crowd wasn't feeling him. I come out, I grab the mic from him. We in Sacktown now. We in the West. I've never been to Sacramento in my life, ever. Grab the mic from him. Yo, what up? What's up? What the fuck? Yo, we came all the way from New York. Yo, what's up? D block. You know, I'm talking my shit. Yo, it's D. Yo, the crowd was looking at me like, what, D? Man, fuck that. They started screaming 354. They started chanting 354. I almost had a heart attack on stage because, for one, I would never in a million years think they even knew who the fuck I was, little old me. They wouldn't know what 354 is. I'm out here talking about, yo, it's D Block. They like, nah, nigga, you the nigga from 354. And they went crazy.
Damn.
And for me, that was a highlight to my career because, again, that was the first time I ever was on the West Coast, first time I ever was in the Bay, and it just showed me how powerful music is. And you never know who's listening, who's watching, who's rocking with you. And you go to some of these places that you never been, your music has already been there. And that shit fucked me up, bro. But yeah, I proceeded to give the mic back to my brother. I let him finish his joint. You know what I'm saying? They held it down and let him get through his set. And then I got up there and I tore that shit down. Damn. That. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Bay. Rest in peace to Jackal. That was the illest shit for me. You know what I'm saying? Word.
That's heavy.
So yo, Snyp, man, I know you got some shit to do.
Yes, sir.
I know you're working on your new album, Ingenuity. Your new project is called Ingenuity. I'm gonna let you tell the people about that in a second. Well, fuck it, man. Just tell the people about it right now before I ask you about this question. The new album, Ingenuity. Tell them why it's called that.
Ingenuity, man. This signifies this chapter that we talking about. This signifies my D Block story, my timeline. I never got a chance to tell my side of the story for any situation that really involved D Block. I shared a lot of stuff with Mikey T that I never really put out there. This album really signifies all of that. This is my time capsule to hip hop. This is a project that you will be able to bury and come back to 20 years later and appreciate it even more. Ingenuity just simply means being creative, the art of being clever, originality. I come from that era. And as I explained through the interview with Mikey T, for the people that just got to kind of get in tune with me, they'll kind of understand where some of my swag come from, my slang, how I talk, how I rap. They'll get all of that from the interview because all this shit started from the essence. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Ingenuity. I'm gonna be out by the end of this year. I got so many big names. I'm pulling out the big joints. You heard? I'm pulling all the big dogs out, all the classics, anything. If you a fan of hip hop, you gonna fucking love this album because it got a lot of your hip hop heroes on there. You know what I'm saying? Word up, I promise you.
So before you get out of here, though, I got to get you on this topic.
Yeah.
So basically, one of the topics we have here tonight is the game speaking on a potential versus battle with 50 Cent. The game says he wants 100,000 for it, but I want to ask you, who takes that in your opinion, man? I mean, I know we're East Coast guys, but who do you got?
Man, I love Game. You know what I mean? I love Fifth. You know, I'm a fan of the culture, so I love what both of them bring to the game. I think the first thing that's the most obvious is that, you know, Fifth had pretty much a little bit longer of a run than Game because he came out first, you know. If I had to pick, man, I gotta go with Fifth. You know, I love Game. Shout out to Game. But I gotta take Fifth on that one because Fifth did what nobody really did when he came out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like a one-of-one with like just how his shit came out and just fucking took off. Like, so a lot of those records, man, he got a lot of shit, man. Game got some shit too, man. I'll fuck with Game though, man.
Right, but
Game
it's like the verses.
But we talk verses, so they kind of make it more political, like more, you know, units, radio influence records and shit like that. So I'll probably have to side with Fifth on that. Gotta keep it New York, baby. Queens get the money, baby.
plus a lot of the game records. A lot of the game records that you know that he's gonna play are gonna be featuring 50.
I
You
know he's
know?
gonna be throwing those. I know those are haymakers, man. Hate it or love it, like
Facts.
but they shit gotta kind of turn into like a joint concert though. Like they could do
No,
one for
no,
one.
please.
Those
Please.
records are how you gonna do that record and I'm on like you can't do that record, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but it's like, nah, I can't do this right. This is my record technically. So
I
it's
didn't like how Redman and Method Man turned it into a concert, man.
Mikey
Well,
T.
I like
Mikey
that.
T.
I like that.
they
Like I'm about to
brothers.
say, yo, I feel you. I respect your shit, but that's your opinion, dog. I love that shit. Meth and Red, they gotta do it together. That's what they
I've
supposed to.
Yeah.
seen Red and Meth concerts so many times.
Look, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. So if Kiss and Styles did a versus, you wouldn't want to see at some point that shit turned into a joint concert? All them in and outs, all them. You want to see them go
Back to
back and
back.
forth the whole night? Nah, you got to
Oh
turn
yeah.
it into a
Yeah.
concert,
All
dog.
right, you got a point.
Come
You got
on.
a
Telling
point.
these
But
niggas. You have to do that back to back.
that's only because we've seen Jada with Fab for so long that now I would like to see him back rocking with Style on some lock shit.
Right, but that's why I'm mad at the Ghostface and Ray joint. I love Ghost is my favorite out of the Wu, first of all. So I don't care about nothing else. Ghost is me, Ghost is nothing. But that shit should have turned into a concert. I wanted to see them both because that shit, they combination together is just so immaculate. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to see them go song for song, song for song. Nah, do that shit together, man. Fuck it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm still mad we can't get a Kiss Beanie Siegel versus. I
Oh
get the
man.
Kiss and Fab John, but we needed Kiss and Siegel.
That's a
That's a good one. And I wanted them to do the diss tracks.
Nah, you can't do this track. Nah, dog. Can't
No,
do it, man.
not on no beat stuff, but
Right.
just like remembering the history. Like,
Yeah, but
remember
nah,
this,
dog.
you can ask about it, man.
That might bring up it's taking you back there. Like you brought me, like you play that record. Now I'm thinking how I thought when it first came out. Now I'm smiling. Now I'm frowning at you at the verses. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I want to kill you at that time. So it's like
It couldn't
That's
get any worse than what
Siegel
Gucci
still
Man
do that.
did.
facts.
Gucci Man went
Mikey.
against the grain.
Yeah, facts. I was about to say that Gucci and Jeezy are
I
the prime example.
gotta cover my face on that one, dog.
Now, yo, Snype, I had asked everybody in here because somebody posted in the chat. Somebody in the chat said Jeezy over Gucci. What's your opinion, though? Who were you rocking with more? Who really touched you more, Young Jeezy or Gucci Man?
Excuse me, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I always been a Young Jeezy fan. Know what I'm saying? So I always fuck with Jeezy anyway. But Gucci was so hard. Excuse me, for the shit that that was crazy. That was just crazy. I don't know how Jeezy was able to like withstand that, but it was like, yo, he was the more honorable one. I gotta say, Jeezy is the more honorable one in that situation. I was going with Jeezy anyway, as far as the records. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, dog, Gucci's crazy, man.
Gucci's hotter now. Gucci's hotter than Jeezy now for sure.
Right now, Gucci's on fire right now. Gucci's on
right
fucking
now,
fire.
definitely.
Well,
but early coming up, I said Gucci doesn't have a better record than Soul Survivor, Snipe. You can't tell me.
I'm with you. I agree. It's just that, like you said, right now, Gucci, he's on fire. But this is from the essence of your shit. So yeah, off the foundation, nah, Jeezy kind of already had that. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But Mike Smooth gets it. Versus is a battle, not a concert. But I'll bring it to what you said about Raekwon and Ghostface. That versus had some of the lowest ratings. People weren't. That was the one where I thought the East Coast was going to show out, but people were like, "Yo, that one was boring."
Well, could I say something on that? Could I elaborate on that? I feel like when it come to verses, it's hard to put two people that got a relationship. That's like Redman and Method Man. It's impossible for it not to turn into a concert. Method Man would have had to be on straight Wu-Tang vibes. You know what I mean? In order to not even, combine it. So certain people, it's more love in the verses, but but then you got like the Jeezy and Gucci verses where it was tension in the past,
Yeah,
and you
right,
know,
right. Now you got a great point there. I feel like the verses wasn't really necessary to negate it to be a battle. I think it's just really like a celebration of these artists and the shit that they accomplish. I get the whole twist where you like the competition thing, like with the battle part. I get that. That's cool.
hmm
But I never really looked at it, excuse me, as a battle because they was reflecting their track records. So they showing you like how they got to where I'm at right now. So for me, when
facts.
you do that, that's more like celebratory, like, you know what I mean? So I mean everybody had their own take and that's cool, but that, like for me, I didn't really look at it like you going at it. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. It's more like a celebration, like your
Word,
track record.
word.
You
But
know,
it should have a mix of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
right,
nah,
right,
obviously
right.
these verses where the guys have the built-in history, like Twiz was saying, they do more numbers. Like like I could see Game versus 50 doing huge numbers. Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss with the built-in history. It would People could never consider that boring.
nah. They that
Facts.
No,
that shit probably had the most views. Word up.
Facts. It would. And
Yeah.
and, and one
what?
and one thing that was beautiful about with Jadakiss and Beans is that like after everything calmed down, Beans paid his respect. He also spoke on how it hurt him truthfully as a human because like I said, we love y'all, you know what I'm saying? We love Locks D Block,
Right.
bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was beautiful that they were able to patch it up and have a relationship after
Yeah.
that. So, that was grown man shit right there.
Hey yo, I told Mikey T during the interview when y'all see Beans was on my block. He wasn't just like in Yonkers. It's 7, 8 projects in Yonkers. Like where you at? Like you can say, yo, like some people say, yo, I'm from Brooklyn. All right, where at in Brooklyn? Brooklyn is just like what part of Brooklyn are you from? Like, you know what I'm saying? People be quick to scream out the thing. So I would say that to say like Yonkers, you could say you from Yonkers, but for somebody that's from Yonkers, it's like where you at in Yonkers? You know what I'm saying? And they brought Beans to my block to do his part of the video he had with Styles. And just for the niggas from my part of Yonkers, like the love that he got and the respect that he got from my block, I know he know, like he could see it, like, nah, them niggas really fuck with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Styles, same thing. Styles went to Broad Street, shot his part of the video.
Facts.
They showed him so
Facts.
much love. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like, we rock with niggas. Like,
Facts.
Hmm? That's a fact right
Facts.
there. Facts.
But yo, Snipe, let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. If there's anybody that wants to potentially get you to do something musically, a verse, a hosting, anything like that, or if they just want to follow you on social media, let them know. I got your Instagram posted, but any way to contact you, just let the people know right now.
same way, man. You can hit the Instagram. You can hit City Troop Bookings at Gmail. City Troop Bookings at Gmail. If there's any features, any collaboration, walkthroughs, things of that nature. But I'm very hands on with the people, so I try to keep up. So again, I do work my Instagram. I'm trying to get it. I don't really care about the numbers like that, so I don't be out like clout chasing. But I am reachable. I'm approachable. So reach out, and I understand that everybody's not gonna love you. You understand what I'm saying? Big said that
Facts.
shit. Big said that shit best. Ain't no guarantee they gonna love you tomorrow. So I just embrace the love that I get. I return it. The same thing with the respect. And I understand that everybody ain't gonna like your shit. So that's cool. But fuck with me. To fuck with me is to love me, is to respect me. Because you'll see you can't pay for energy. You can't pay for charisma. That's the type of shit you feel when you're around somebody. And definitely you can't pay for influence. You know what I mean? So all that other shit is,
Facts.
you know what I mean? But ingenuity, y'all. Ingenuity is coming. For my fans that die-hard Snipe Life lovers, it's coming. I've been holding it. It's time. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
No, Snipe, I definitely appreciate you for joining us tonight, man.
Yeah,
We'll have
no
you
doubt.
on again in the future, but everyone, I've got our interview pinned, and you're going to have to stay tuned for the next parts of it as well.
Yes, sir. Let's do it, Mikey T. You know what it is. Love is love, gentlemen. Talk to y'all soon.
Right.
Keep up the
You
great work.
already.
Yo, I'm going to say some real shit to y'all, all three of y'all. I'm going to tell you some real shit because I told Mikey T before I met I was a fan of his work, right? I see you guys presence in it's because of people like y'all. Y'all help keep this culture going. And I know if y'all might not hear it enough from people, because again, a lot of this shit is based off of popularity and all that corny shit. But I'm telling y'all, gentlemen, man, I love the work that y'all do. Y'all keep it genuine and organic, and that's what the culture need. I'm for the culture. I don't really, like I said, I can't say it enough. I don't care about no fucking numbers. Don't talk to me about no numbers, dog. Know what I'm saying? Because right now you could create this shit. You can make this shit up. But this shit that y'all doing is organic. Getting people to talk and get the insight. You get the people that always watch and listen, they get a chance to hear you in a different light. You know what I mean? So just keep up the good work, gentlemen. This is what we here for.
Appreciate it, Snype Life. That mean a lot to us, man. Appreciate it.
Definitely means a lot, man.
G Bigavelli said, "Oh shit, Snype Life, where AP at, bro? I remember him and AP had a fire mixtape back in the day."
No doubt. Excuse me, no doubt. AP in the cut, man. I got him in the cut. You know, we all walk so many different, paths and take up different shit as our chapters and we get older and shit. But A still got bars. I'm always on them because that's just what I always been. I'm like the Chris Paul. So you already know I got something cooking. I'm pulling them back out. Shout out my brother Large Amount. That's our group, the Bullpen, a group that I created. I talked about it on the interview, so y'all can check that. But yeah, that's what it is. Shout out to the whole Elm Street. Word, that's what you already know, right? Elm Street. I sold crack on that block. You heard?
Iceberg was actually out at the Love video shoot with me. Snype, he was like, after we linked, he's like, "Yo, you gotta give the people that Snype Life interview."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Iceberg too, man. Real shit.
Cincinnati tuned in.
Right, my man Kurt from Ohio. I was out in Cincinnati. I was out in Cleveland. Tore up a couple of stages, did a couple of features. There's love out there. It was fucking cold as hell, but we was outside and the people came out. So shout out to all my dogs in the Natty and Cleveland. You know what I mean? It's real out there. You heard? It's real.
Definitely is.
Hey yo, fun fact. I thought everybody rapped like Bone Thugs and Harmony out there. Nobody raps like that, dog. Yo, niggas was out. Yo, I was hearing so many different shit. I didn't hear none of that fast shit. I was like, yo, I've been fucking fooled all this time. You know what I'm saying? Word up. They got balls out there though. I fuck with the hood, so word up.
FTC said we're gonna keep Bucky's name alive out here.
Yes, sir.
Make sure to get me that information, Snype, so I can post it about how to write Bucky.
Oh, I'll send it to you tonight. I'll send it to you as soon as I jump off here. Yep.
All right, cool. And possibly, I don't know if you get calls from Bucky as frequently, you know what I mean, but possibly put us together for a joint.
Yeah, that would be amazing. He would love that. He got to stay out of trouble though. I think he's been chilling lately, but he been kind of wild. I mean, the 5-foot felon that shit wasn't a gimmick, dog. Know what I mean? My little homie was 5 feet, but he was a fucking terror. He was a fucking animal. And then shit he was rapping was all right. I'm real Bucky. You already know. I love that's my bro. So anybody that know me deep, they know. If you heard anybody say Bucky name, it's Snype. I'm always screaming my bro Bucky out. Know what I'm saying? So real shit.
Steve Rivera says we need Snype Life in Connecticut.
Yeah, CT is my second home. Fucking Toad's Place, fucking New Haven, fucking Bridgeport, all the real niggas. It's real niggas. You know what it is. The real relate every time, like my boy Mafi be saying, man. The real gonna relate every time. You know what I'm saying? Word up.
Baskets, classic song.
Yo, I gotta get out of here, man. I appreciate the accolades, man. This is the type of shit I hit all night.
Yeah.
That's how he get me to stay here. Word up, yo. Salute, though. I appreciate the love, Mikey T. It's humbling. I came from nothing, dog. So don't ever think I ain't one of these rappers that be, let me do this shit. I appreciate this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I come from the other side for real. So you definitely show your appreciation for certain shit that mean a lot to you. You know what I mean? And I'm so fucking passionate about this. I mean everything I say, dog. You know what I'm saying? So
salute
word
to you,
up. I'm out of here though, man.
I'm gonna let you go. Everybody watching, go follow Snype right now.
Yes,
salute to you, bro.
Salute,
we will see you soon. Snype Life, definitely appreciate him joining us. Everybody that wants to check out my new interview with him, it's pinned up. But if you guys want to follow the man yourself right now, if all 90 of you go follow Snyp Life, he'll probably follow a bunch of you back. So Twiz, are you following Snyp Life already?
No, I'm not following. You know, Mikey, you know I'm not big on the gram or nothing like that, but I am gonna follow him after this, Mikey. You know, I'm gonna keep it as that. I'm a definitely follow him, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it as that, Mikey.
No, I'm gonna definitely step in when he tell. I'm gonna follow him after this too.
Real rap. And you know what I'm saying,
Wow.
Mikey, one thing I gotta say, Mikey, is that you know, you bring so much to the culture as far as like this is like even like with the hip hop trivia and things of that nature, man. You give people knowledge that they might not have even had. You know what I mean? In all different levels. So a big salute to you, and it's real heavy that you can bring in artists that was major to the culture and things like that, bro. Like everybody can't do that, man. So a big salute to you, Schizo, my guy. What's up, Schizo?
Definitely, Mikey T. Definitely bringing on the people that were influential in some of these major movements in rap that they don't get the spotlight or the shine. You know, people
Facts,
that we would talk about on the streets, and, have conversation on the block about, but they never really got the shine or the popularity. Bringing those people
facts.
in to give their story and be able to have the fans ask those questions on their point of view from, whatever was going on with their situation. So that's much respect for that. It's 30.
Big facts, big facts.
Okay. G Bigavelli. Now he has a question for you guys, but I'm just gonna preface it by saying, that's one of the reasons that I had hit Snyp up tonight, because he had brought up Bucky to me, and the fact that we were just talking about it, it's like you guys are the hip hop scene out there. You know what I mean? So that's why bringing him on, and you guys could actually have a conversation with him about it. That's why I wanted to give that to the people tonight, just to be 100% honest with you. And you know what? Y'all both handled it. Y'all both handled it like pros. You know what I'm saying? Joe Budden would have been happy with his new podcast co-host, the way that they handled it when they have a dope guest come on. But I'm going to throw another haymaker at you guys. Gia Bigavelli, who just tapped in, showing some love to Snyp Life, says, y'all from Philly, right? WTF happened to young Chris? That dude was nice as F, and Hove took his whisper flow. Was it the whisper flow? Who wants to take this first? Twiz, kind of seems like you want to jump on this.
I just wanted to
Look,
say
man,
Chris. I just wanted to say Chris is definitely still around. If you
come
it
around.
just like Beans still around. They just dropped the joint with Beans, Quilly, Mike Knox, and Chris. This was probably like last month. So Chris is still a lyrical beast. You can still slide through Nicetown and catch Chris out there in a Bentley or something like that. So he's still active. He's still a major part of the culture. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's ghostwriting for a few guys right now, because that flow is never gone. He's one of the forefathers of this when it comes to this Philly rap shit.
Well,
Yep.
before you jump on it, Rosewood, I just want to say one of the last times that I spoke to young Chris, he was actually working with Diddy. So I got a feeling that you're probably right, Twiz. Now, Rosewood, you want to jump on that?
Yeah. I'm basically saying, just following up on Twiz, basically I'm saying young Chris is definitely still out there, definitely still working, definitely constantly dropping stuff on the gram and on YouTube. And like you said, it was a whole song that dropped last month with him, see with Mike Knox, Corley, a bunch of people on there. And that's a banger right there. So young Chris is definitely in the mix, but he's definitely writing. He's always been writing. So young Chris
Facts.
is back another way, but he also still is rapping. It's just not the spotlight is not on him. But you can look him right up and see everything that he's doing from Instagram to YouTube.
And also another project that I feel like young Chris would have been heavily featured on. Y'all can agree or disagree with me. Is the Goon meets the Bully, or the Bully meets the Goon, the project that Beanie Siegel was going to do with AR Rab. I got a feeling that Chris would have been heavily featured on that. Rosewood?
Yeah, definitely got to put Chris on there. That maybe a couple songs.
Facts. Facts.
What's he doing
Yo,
on there, Twiz? what would young Chris have been doing on there? Because to me, it looks like Beanie Siegel's right-hand man is young Chris.
Facts, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like Chris smoked everything. And you know what I'm saying? Also to speak on Ab, like if we all noticed before Ab was in the the unfortunate situation that he's in, Chris was on the block with OVH and he did a song with them also, you know what I mean? And that wasn't too long ago.
Now, guys, shifting topics before we get back into the French Montana Gucci Man. Believe me, I haven't forgotten about our major topics. I wanted to segue a little bit with Snyp Life, but I still haven't got you guys' opinion on the game 50 Cent. But before that, I just want to ask y'all, it looks like we're going to get Murder Mook versus Reed Dollars.
Ooh.
We just got Reed Dollars versus Sue Surf. Reed Dollars is facing some heavy battle rapper guys, man. But Prophecy Forever, who's from Jersey, says Reed is going to rip Mook. I don't think that's going to happen, bro. I think Reed is going down, Twiz. I know he's from your town, bro, but I think Reed is going down. Is he biting off a little more than he can chew, or is he really just jumping back into the heavyweight battle rap status?
He just jumping back into it if you ask me, because if you ask me, it's probably gonna be 2-1 Reed. You know what I mean? Like Reed, Reed is dangerous, Mikey. Like Reed do this for real. We gotta remember us seeing Reed come up. He was a kid. Like he was a kid, like 14, 15, 16, and he was
Going to
rapping
New
like
York.
a grown man. Exactly. And he was dangerous then. You know, what I feel like Murder Mook is such on a high pedestal, and he understand that he's such a high battle rapper that you know he's not the Murder Mook from the early 2000s, if that make any sense. But Reed still got that aggressiveness when he step in that ring. He don't he don't underestimate none of his opponents.
They're
No.
saying that I'm doubting the general. Rosewood, do you think that's exactly what I'm doing? Am I doubting the general when I say that Murder Mook is just going to run over Reed Dollars?
No, because you're looking at that's your opinion. You're looking from the perspective, like Twiz said, like Murder Mook's portfolio. Going
Facts.
up this Reed portfolio, basically. But right now, if Reed comes in there and he's been doing his homework and he crafted a perfect strategy, he has the bars, he has the know-how. If he can bring it all together and bring that energy, he can definitely get a 2-1 over both of Surf and Murder Mook.
Facts. One
Well,
thing about
Imagine that battle rap.
honestly,
You gotta give him
man,
props.
sorry, Twiz. Honestly, with Sue Surf facing Reed Dollars in the past, and now Reed facing off with Murder Mook and all the hype around Mook versus Sue Surf, I think this is just preparation for, I think it's just build up for the eventual Sue Surf versus Murder Mook. You know what I mean? I think this is really just a build up match. It's like a semifinal going to the finals for the championship, because I think the big money is in Sue Surf versus Murder Mook. But that's why I look at Murder Mook like he's going to take out Reed Dollars. But it doesn't always have to end like that. What do you think, Twiz? What were you going to say?
I was definitely just wanted to say like it's no different than, let's not forget, T Rex is a beast, but we saw what happened with Reed and Rex. And on top of saying that is, even if Reed lose, Reed will never get 30. You know what I mean? You can't 30 Reed. It's like that's gonna be, even if Reed, if people feel like he lost, the battle's gonna be so debatable, because one thing that Reed been talking about is that before he quit this battle rap stuff, he want Mook. So I feel like he's going to bring up some material that he really, that you know what I'm saying, his material is going to be so ready for Mook, but Mook know that Reed ain't a walk in the park either. So who knows? Only time will tell. But I can't wait till the battle happen. That would be great for the battle culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I look at it like a heavyweight battle. I mean, because of the past that Reed Dollaz has, because of his past, I do look at it like he can step up with the heavyweights. Now, if Reed Dollaz wins this, I think he goes for Cassidy. If he wins it, maybe he gets Cassidy if he wins or loses it, just because of the stature of battle rappers that he's been facing. Surf,
I,
Murda Mook, Cassidy would be next in line for him, in my opinion.
I don't think Reed would battle Cassidy because they got a relationship, like, and Reed got like a certain amount of respect for Cassidy, where I don't feel as though Cassidy would take whoever if the money is right. I don't think Reed would want to battle Cassidy because of the homage and the respect that he has for him. You know what I mean? That's just my own personal opinion. I don't think Reed himself wouldn't want to step in the ring with Cassidy.
Rosewood, respond to that, man. What respect does Reed have for Cassidy?
Major respect for Cassidy. It's just the person before him that was really major doing it in the city. People that the rappers and everybody else looked to that was making the moves. So I get what Swizz is saying. Reed's not going to really have the same energy like he would have for Mook. Like he said, before he leaves this, he want Mook. So he's not looking at Cassidy like that. You know, would it draw fans just or whatever like that? But I don't know if it'll be the next one up for Reed. If he was to win, I don't know if Cassidy would be the next up. I think he'll be
Facts.
looking to keep going up. You know,
It's it's
so
not one rapper from Philly that was in a DVD era or became battling after Cassidy that wasn't motivated by Cassidy. So the only reason you would want to step in the ring with Cassidy is just for the for the for the views to just to try to prove to the people like I
For the
stepped in the
check.
ring with exactly for the check for the views and things of that nature. But most
hmm
artists from Philly is like got a high level of respect for Cassidy because he was one of the most, if not the most dangerous face to face battle rapper from corner to corner, small rooms, you know what I'm saying, that step on the battling arena.
So if my timeline is correct, when Cassidy was like the major rapper on the mainstream, that's when Reed Dollar was known as the major rapper in the underground, getting all those big checks, bragging about getting a bunch of money and shit back in the day.
Yeah, I would
yeah,
say like a yeah,
that's when
like
he was winning
around
the
that.
battle. I mean, not
Yeah,
the
like
battles, the DVDs. Young Bob and the Big Star, Philly versus New York, and the Young Bob Headshot DVD.
facts, like around the I'm a Hustler days and things like that. That's when like the Reed Dollars came up and things like that. You know what I mean? He inspired a lot of majority of Philly rappers and having that aggressive, disrespectful face to face battle flow and things of that nature. So
I could agree with that, man. Okay. Verb 30 Mook, in my opinion. Yeah,
like
where was that at? Where was that at? That was a rare breed. That was rare breed. That was RBE.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I've never really been too much into a verb though, just in my
me
opinion. I'm not.
neither. I'm with you on that, Mikey. You know what I mean? Like, and when it comes to Mook, I just know like Mook was so passionate just from back in the day where he was going at Cassidy. So certain people like Mook and Rex, even if you're not following the BRC the whole way, you know what I'm saying, the Luxes and those guys, you know what I'm saying, from that era, you know who these guys are. So I didn't follow Verb myself, and not me myself, I haven't watched the battle.
All right, so let's tap back into this topic about French Montana. Rosewood, I was about to ask you, I was breaking it down. So Gucci Man came to the studio apparently, got paid. Maybe he had been paid prior to that. Who knows? I don't know how it works. Maybe he got paid on the spot, heard the beat, sort of ducked out into another room, left. the song eventually ended up getting completed, Straight Cash remix featuring Gucci Man. But Rosewood, I want to ask you, is that really considered Gucci Man robbing French Montana for his verse, especially if the verse was done days or a week later, maybe even a month later?
No, that's not him robbing them of the verse. Because look at it like now, people email people verses all the time, and then it might take a couple days, it might take a week. So that's
Might take 2
almost a
months.
similar. Yeah, so that's almost a similar situation. So I won't say Gucci Man ducked out or whatever. If the vibe isn't right for you to create for that, if you're not going to put out your best at that time, then you have to wait and then you come back and then you perfect something, you come back and you drop that, and which came out as that remix. You know, so that's what they did.
And also another aspect of it is like, okay, Gucci Man is a celebrity at this point. Gucci Man's mind and his mind is moving like probably so much quicker at a different pace with this, that to do, and that to do. And French Montana is coming in there and he's getting a verse at a discounted rate, Twiz. So that's why I'm saying, like, the fact that Gucci Man didn't do the same day turnaround, that, in my opinion, isn't considered any type of robbing. You know, he was getting a hooked up price on a verse. Instead of paying 50,000, he was paying 5 or 10,000. What do you think in that regard? The fact that the verse wasn't done the same day, the fact that Gucci Man left the location that he was at with French Montana. Who knows? He could have got a call, come pick up your jewelry. He could have got a call. I want to hook up with you in the hotel right now from some baddie. You know what? Talk to me, Twiz. What's your take on it?
I agree with you 100%, Mikey. And one thing that we always have to remember, there were plenty of interviews, whether it was a rapper that had passed or rappers that's still alive, where you might hear a rapper like, I did a feature with this rapper, but it never drops. It's just like a lot behind, putting music out, and we all human at the end of the day. So I don't feel like it was no type of, getting burnt move. It's not really no timing on certain things. Then you got other people that like the engineers and managers where they might be like, it's not time to release that yet. You know what I mean? So sometimes tracks get held on to. Every artist in the industry dealt with features and music that they put out that was never released.
Right. Stuff that they paid for that never ended up being able to get released. And I'm gonna say this as well. If you're working with an artist on a discounted rate, like you can't just, pay them $3,000 or $4,000, not get what you wanted in the exact amount of time, and then bitch about it. That would be the popular thing to do on social media nowadays. It's like, yo, I paid this dude $5,000. That I hate him now. I hate him because I paid him $5,000. You know what I mean? It's like, well, dude, you just screwed yourself now because you paid the dude was going to work with you for $5,000, and now you're not going to get your $5,000 back, and you're not going to work with the dude. So you screwed yourself. And we didn't see no type of dumb shit like that from French Montana after this happened.
Facts.
Because French art, like Twiz was saying, he was already playing chess and calculating his moves. Like I said, he had the forethought to think of going down south and operating in that lane and going that way. So French was already had the hustle mind thing from the DVDs. So he was taking the same track DVD mentality into the music industry. And still maneuvering in the DVD industry, you're watching like a fly on the wall how business is conducted any other way. So French definitely, he was in the back, but he really had an advantage. And, he used his advantage wisely.
Facts. And
Iceberg is saying that French Montana song, it was already bubbling before Gucci even got on it. It was straight cash. The remix was supposed to drop right after. You can't wait too long. I would say before releasing a remix, you got to wait at least 3 months. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of a gap in between releasing the remix to your song, which means you know, he didn't need to. You don't need to put that much pressure on Gucci if that's your ideal artist to put on it. Now, why did Deb go on the show and talk about this? I guess it's shock value, but I guess it's also, you know, that's what she remembers hearing. I guess I imagine after Gucci did leave, some people from French's camp were like, "Yo, Deb, why did Gucci leave the studio when he was supposed to record with us?" You know what I mean? But Gucci's like, "What do you mean, yo? He could have got any number of calls. Some girl that hit him up that wanted to give him some WAP. You know what I mean? Like anything, man. Like, yo, I've been around celebrities, man, and they care about their money. You know what I mean, and they care about their prerogative. They care about what they want to do. You know,
Facts.
you could get in there. Rosewood, you're around artists all the time. How quick are these artists recording a 16 in?
People record 16 like that. You know, people record 16 like that. And really, you got to put in the work. You know, because especially, you know, I can speak for the city of Philadelphia. Brothers got a lot of stuff going on. So brothers are already trying to record as much music as they can, you know, and then have a catalog so you can have several bangers that you can put out when you want to put them out. And then you can get the features that you want to put on them, you know.
So I'm glad that Super Cindy out of Miami actually had the courage to ask French Montana about this situation. I mean, I guess sometimes Twiz questions like that could come easier from a female. I mean, you're the hood blogger. You're asking all that gangster shit anyways, right? It don't need to be no female shit. What do you think?
Facts. I feel like, you know, when females are interviewing people, they can definitely get away with certain questions that might not, you know, ruffle feathers the wrong way, if I can break it down in that manner. You know what I mean? Like, you know, females can definitely get away with certain questions that a, a man won't feel offended by when it comes to the interviewers.
Yep. No, you're right, man.
I agree on that. I definitely agree on that.
Well, G Bigavelli, go look it up. French Montana featuring Gucci Man Straight Cash. It's actually out on YouTube. Now, I was just saying earlier, you know, you could look at this record, Straight Cash, as coming out a little bit too early, or you know what I mean, or coming at the right time, because you know French Montana hadn't fully blown up, so he wasn't going to get the reception that he really wanted with Straight Cash. It wasn't going to be in the top 5 on Billboard. You know what I mean? I just think he could have hoped for making a name for himself with it, following up on the joint.
And
That's
I think that's
facts.
what he was doing, using it as a stepping stone. Using it as a stepping stone to break into a different market and have a different market being able to put a spotlight on him too. So now you can fluctuate from New York and in between New York and Atlanta and even Florida. You see he went down to Miami after that. So his moves were strategic. So you had Atlanta, they got bubbling down there, they had Miami, and then we have him here today.
He linked with
And,
Ross. He
and,
linked with
and
he linked from there after Straight Cash. It made Waka Flocka receptive to him. You know what I mean? For Chopper Down. Once he had Chopper Down, he had Ross reacting to him. From there, he got Diddy to do the partnership with him. And from there, he linked up with Drake.
facts.
Yeah.
And I got two things to also say, Mikey, that I think we also gotta always remember is that one thing for sure, two things for certain. Somebody like French Montana, you know, he hit a peak in his career where he saw plenty of money, and you know that little 5 Gs that he kicked out, like you know, people like French Montana, they throwing triple that up in strip clubs and things like that. So I feel like it definitely didn't really affect him too much. But what I also want to add on is let's not forget about Gucci and Jeezy because a lot of they beef stem from So Icy, where it was a song that Gucci did featured with Jeezy and it was never put out. So that's why, like, at the end of the verses, it was such a big thing. Like, we finally got the, the people were saying they finally, performed this song together. So, Gucci
Well, it
also
was
dealt with that.
Twiz. Not I gotta correct you. It was Gucci Man had wanted the record for his album, and Young Jeezy was like, "Nah, this joint is on my album," and
Facts. That's what it was.
that's where all the beef.
Facts. Thanks for correcting me on that. But you know what I mean? Like, so the game just get like that. But long as you getting money and you got your foot in the door, you know what I mean? Keep it rolling, man.
Did you guys know about this one? There was an unofficial Straight Cash remix. Oh, unofficial. Oh, okay, all right. Iceberg. Did French get those guys? Did There was an unofficial joint with Cassidy and Gorilla Zoe, you guys, I guess. I've heard it all now.
I can believe it.
It probably was. It probably was.
I could believe it. Let's remember the relationship that French Montana had with like Cassidy and ARF back
Right.
during back during his DVD era and all of that. So I can picture that.
Yeah, so I'm glad that whole thing kind of got cleared up right there. A lot of people over the years had said, "Oh, Gucci Man robbed French for a verse." The verse actually came out, you guys. The verse was pretty big. I would consider French's songs with Max B bigger than the Gucci Man record. But like you said, Rosewood, that record opened him up to so many different relationships and markets. That is potentially the record that made Drake or Rick Ross or Diddy go, "Oh, Gucci Man's featuring with a guy named French Montana." French Montana, that kind of sounds like Tony Montana. There could be a story behind that. You know what I mean? Anything like that to get an executive in charge of a big budget, whether it's Atlantic, Warner, Universal, excited in French. He's a smart businessman.
Definitely. And I think he's really overlooked for being a smart businessman in that aspect, the way he did things. Nobody really peeps that on how he maneuvered or how he got here. Like Twin said, he definitely made the money. He came from a point where he wasn't making the money. So, like you said, look at it now. In hindsight, that $5,000 was really nothing to see where he is today. Definitely.
All right, guys. So we're going to get into our next topic, but I'm also going to ask everybody in the chat. The game versus 50 Cent. Who do y'all got? We had Snyp Life in here. Before he got out, I wanted to ask him about this, but now we're going to get into it with us, y'all. Twiz, Rosewood, the game did an interview. The game put a price on it. He said he will do a versus with 50 Cent for $100,000, $100K. For some reason, me personally, I feel like this is going to be like a Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul situation. Like 50 is going to have to get more than 100,000 for the verses. What do you think, Rosewood? Is 100K is the game devaluing himself?
That's what no. Well, game put his price where he put his price. But all right, you say 100,000, like you said, I was already thinking that. When are you gonna get 50 Cent? And then if Versus already has the set price for artists, then or whatever it is, still they said we're gonna pay the bigger artists more. You have to pay 50 Cent more. So this whatever it don't really matter. It don't really matter. If Versus wants to put it together, they're gonna put it together. They're gonna make it happen.
What do you think, Twiz? What do you think that bag's going to be looking like for fifth?
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 110% on this one, Mikey. I agree with you. I feel like the game shouldn't have said that as far as the price wise on the interview. He should talk behind closed doors with the people that's throwing the event first and foremost. But if they did give 50, probably wouldn't want to do nothing for less than $1 million. Like, we talking about 50 Cent. He got so much stuff going on, investments and things of that nature. And I want to say that 50 would walk game in the verses. I don't even think that's a good matchup for a versus.
Whoa, we're not getting there yet, Twiz. We're not getting there yet, Twiz. So, all right. So yeah, I think you're right though, Twiz. Like the game shouldn't have put it out there how much he wants. Like, what if this is something that he could have potentially made $1 million for? Like,
Facts.
We 500,000.
yeah,
You know,
you know, or people say 300 bars. How about 300 grand? You know, but
Facts.
everyone in the chat, put it up right now. Who do you got in the game versus 50 Cent if they eventually do it? I think they're going to want to do this to really reinvest the people in the product, to really get the ratings up. But also, hell, if they do it when venues go back to full capacity, they could do this in a stadium, couldn't they, you guys?
Facts.
yeah,
Facts.
that is real facts.
All right, so Twiz, since you wanted to get into it so quickly, I'm gonna come and ask you first, man. In the game versus 50 Cent battle, the versus battle, who do you got in it, man? Both these guys have had 5 albums. Game's probably at about 6 or 7 at this point, but both of them have about 3 albums of popular material to put out.
I got 50. Me myself, I feel like it's not much of a competition. I feel like it would be a better investment as far as 50 versus Rick Ross. That's the verses we need. 50 versus Rick Ross. That's the that's the bag winner right there. That's what the people will go crazy for over 50 versus Game. But that's just my personal opinion.
I feel the same way.
Maybe they need to have 50 go up against all of his old enemies. Um, You know, they could do 50 verse Ja, 50 verse Fat
Oh,
Joe, 50
50
verse
versus
Jada. They could do, you know what I mean? They could do all these joints with 50. It'll sort of be like Floyd Mayweather getting all the fights. Um, Now, Twiz, when you say that 50 would whop, I think you used the term whop the
I said
game.
he will walk Game down. Like he will
A
walk him
walking,
down.
you said when 50 walks the game down, I want to ask, is one of the major reasons he's going to walk him down, is it because Game's going to be using a lot of material that features 50?
Facts. Me myself, that's listening to Game, my most of my favorite songs from the Game is like, you know what I'm saying, when he was with 50, the underdogs going on top, that era and things of that nature, because I can count really on my hand as far as how many, me myself personally, you know what I'm saying, I like 50. Oh, like 50 is a different type of
Dreams.
animal.
What do we got?
Yeah,
We got Dreams.
yeah, facts.
My Life with Lil Wayne. Is that one that hits you or no?
It do, but 50 could take it back to when 50 could take it back to mixtape stuff also if he wanted to. The joint where
Put you on the game. Would that one be on there or no?
it would, I feel like Game would be dropping everything that he ever dropped, and you know what I mean. But 50 got so much material. You know what I'm saying, like Snipe like said earlier, it's like he got a lot more music than the Game. Even though they got those amount of albums out, 50 got like mixtape stuff that he could drop on verses and people would still go crazy.
He's got group stuff. He's got group stuff with the G Unit guys that he could drop.
Facts.
He's got features with Eminem, features with Lloyd Banks and Buck, and features he could go into. Now that we got Twiz's opinion that 50 Cent would walk the game just like he walked him through his whole career, pretty much the popular part of his career. Rosewood, I want to get your opinion, man. Twiz said that 50 versus Ross would be a little bit more exciting. Is 50 versus Game something that you would tune into to check out if it happened later on this year or even the top of next year?
I would definitely check out 50 versus Game because I want to see how they're going to structure it, how they're going to format, what songs they're going to come out with, and it's definitely going to be a good performance because all the songs we're going to enjoy, and like Twins was saying, 50 can go in the bag of mixtape stuff because I was just look in my eyes. The game in 50, you can take a look in my eyes. Say I'll be a gangster till I die. Game where you from?
Facts.
West Side. Game killed that, but 50's on the hook. So
Right.
it's
That was
like,
actually on Game's debut album, though.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's stuff like that yeah, we're gonna enjoy, but 50 gonna win because 50 kind of makes that song too. It's on your album, but it's just 50. You
Damn, that's
know,
Facts.
another one I wasn't even thinking of. That's another one I wasn't even thinking of. So Rosewood, who are you taking to win this thing if you had to put money on it?
I will go with 50. I would, and Twiz, you're right. The one the streets want to see is 50 versus Ross. They're like,
Hmm.
we want to see Kiss and Sable. We want to see 50 versus Ross. We want to see that. We want to see that.
Facts.
Just because of the entertainment factor they gave us on the internet with that. With the
Facts.
music. And 50, if
Facts.
50 came out and Pip and Curly, that would be crazy. That'd be
Facts.
crazy right there.
Now, guys, the reason, look at the situation with Jada and Beanie, man. That battle, that versus battle could actually happen because they are relatively friendly. Um, Not saying Gucci Man and Jeezy are relatively friendly. They kept it together for the bag. They must have kept it together for the bag. I can't think of any other reason. Now, 50 and Game have been relatively cool in the nightclubs together when they see each other. But I would say the more proper one would have to be Jadakiss and Beanie Siegel. These guys are actually friends who could compete. Game and
Mhm.
50, it's probably an insurance hazard.
Facts. I agree with you on that, Mikey. Like,
Someone
I
might get punched in the face with
yeah,
with Jada and Beanie. No one's gonna get punched in the face at this point, right? You guys?
that's
No,
true. That's
that's
true.
true.
That's
No,
facts.
it's gonna be all love. It's gonna be all love. That'd be so great. That'd be so great for hip hop if we can get that. There'll be so much love in there. Everybody be tapped into that just to remember
Facts.
where you were at when these songs were being put out. You know,
Big
that'll
facts.
be a classic one.
Beanie Siegel needs to get on that ASAP, you guys. Before we get into the people's this is something we got to cover on an episode, you guys, but did y'all want to see Beanie Siegel on G Unit or not really, Rosewood?
Nah, because Steve Property was in Army.
Okay,
That was Army.
Twiz, you didn't
Uh,
want to see Beanie Siegel on G Unit when he was doing that whole thing?
no, it's no different than when Hood start messing with 50. The people ain't want to see that, man. It's like, you already stamped for a certain army. If you ain't with the army you was with, you better off by yourself, instead of jumping to a different team. No
We're gonna
different
we're
than
gonna tap into that one. I'm gonna write down some things that I want to hear you guys talk about in retrospect. But let's get into what everybody in the chat thinks. Everybody, keep posting up your thoughts. Who is Iceberg? Do me a favor and get the tabulations. Uh, my thoughts, Game versus 50. I want to know all of yours. I'm gonna get into my thoughts right now before we get into the thoughts of the chat. The Game versus 50 Cent. If I had, they both had two really good, dope first albums. I would have to say that the Game's third album was probably better than 50's third album.
You can
Game's
say that.
Game's fourth album was better than 50's fourth album. Game's fifth album was better than 50's fifth album. I hate to say it.
They both was going downhill.
hey
As a
Mikey.
Murder,
matter.
Before I Self-Destruct, and Animal Ambition were not the best albums, you guys.
Mikey, I
No,
feel like Get Rich or Die Trying was better than every album Game ever dropped. That
Well,
album alone,
hold on. No. Get Rich or Die Trying was not better than the documentary and the Doctor's Advocate put together.
see, but you got to combine. See, like you got to combine both of those albums just to go
that's
against Get Rich or
handicap.
Die Trying.
Yeah,
And
and
you
then
can't
pretty
sleep on
much
you can't sleep on the massacre either.
no,
The
because
massacre,
the Massacre would go
Yeah.
up against all the rest of the Game's projects. And you cannot sleep on Beg for Mercy.
yeah, you can't sleep on that either. And it's 50 got so much mixtape stuff that's like albums. 50 was the
Facts.
first one to make a mixtape like an album.
All right,
Facts.
who's got better collaborations? 50 would come in with that joint. She said she want me to push up on it. Game would come out there with that. Some of that. Game has mad collabs, man. Even though that one, what was that one? Was it with him and Keisha Cole? Game's Pain. Was that Keisha Cole?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm
That
not
shit
sure either.
Y'all don't remember that record where Game was on with the female singer and she was like, ever since I made the day, then I made the change. I just want to paint away.
I think that might be Keisha. I think that is Keisha.
Okay,
Cole.
okay.
Yeah.
No, I think that is Keisha.
Nobody
Cole.
was feeling that. That was like Game's
I think
upbeat
that is Keisha
anthem.
Cole.
He's like, I swear to God, it feels like every day is my birthday. California, my birthplace. You know what I mean?
We need Mikey in the booth, man. Mikey got the voice for it. I hear you, Mikey.
I got the voice for it.
Mikey
the
T
voice
album
for it.
on the way. You got the voice for it, Mikey.
I got the voice for it. All right, so let's get into the chat. Let's see what everybody. California, my birthplace. I'm not going to mess up my voice like all these rappers who try to make their voice sound deeper, though. It's like, dude, just do your voice, man. I don't want to hear you do a deep impression of your voice.
That's true.
Yeah, it'd be messing up dudes' raps. Yo, all right, so let's see what everyone says. G Bigavelli says 50 Cent. And I'm going with 50 Cent too, just to be real with you guys, even though I said the Game probably had more better albums. Because Jesus Peace was definitely better than Before I Self-Destruct.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Mars from Dade says 50, so that's 5 for 50. Eric says 50. Steve Q says something considerable. He said if he does that 300 bars, it's Game.
Damn.
What about when he does 300 bars, Rosewood?
But I don't think that was a cure to win. I don't think that
That's
one
true.
was a cure to win. That would,
That's true.
see, something like that would generate more hype to it because people would think about that and they'd be wanting to know if Game is going to do that. So they're going to tune in for that. But I don't think it will win it with Game. I think it will bring in more fans, yes. Steve Q,
Okay, let's talk about 300 bars for a second. On 300 bars, I'm pretty sure he uses various industry beats, right?
Mm-hmm.
If this was, I don't know I don't know how it works, but would they have to get the rights to use all of that music if this was something broadcasted on television? So it might be disqualified from being used.
You got a point right there. It's not an original beat for the artist.
Right.
That's true.
That's true. And there's several artist beats, so you have to clear all those.
You would have to clear all of those. That
Just
means the
for the game.
verses.
But yo, you got to admit, if BET did this, or any channel, Vice, whatever channel did this, VH1, they would want that visual of the Game performing 300 bars right in front of 50. That visual,
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and now, like you said, if it's a major network or if it's a network like that has the bag to be able to clear those or even do half of it, clear half of it, take the best half, whatever it is, the first half or the last, whatever it is, and put that out, they would. But I don't think they'll have the money to clear all that. So, like you said,
Miller. Sharita says 50 Cent. So, wow, this is all 50 so far.
50. Somebody said they got, somebody did have Game.
Steve Q says, I think if Game comes the way that 50 did on some disrespectful-ish, the Game, 50 has more hits, though. Now, 50's disses for the Game are whack. So 50 really wouldn't. That's what 50 would have to do if Game came up with 300 bars. He would have to pull up West Side Story, where he was like, you could take a look in my eyes. Or he could pull up all the different hooks he did for Game to combat that or something.
Look, 50 Cent is a crafty dude. Now that you say that, 50 Cent might take all the songs he did hooks on for Game and put them together like in one little segment or something like that. 50, he sit back and calculate on how to end your career. So for this, You looking at it like, oh, game, you trying to start your career back up? I'm gonna end it. I'm not thinking of the promotion 50 gonna give you for that. The promotion is gonna be classic. 50 always knows how to promote something. So that right there, especially a beef or old beef, 50 is definitely gonna ignite that flame.
Twiz, welcome back, bro. Eric Spencer says
Yeah.
50 wouldn't even battle Ti. What do you make of that? What do you make of that, Twiz?
Want to see 50 and Ross? My bad.
I don't think like you said earlier, Mikey, if it wasn't Rick Ross versus 50, I feel like 50 and Ja Rule would I feel like 50 but 50 and Ja Rule, John, might be dangerous because they really, really got like, you know what I mean? It might be more dangerous if 50 and Ja Rule. I don't know about 50 with T.I., you know what I mean? But
So
that would
Eric,
be a great matchup.
but what is it, Twiz? Is it a lack of interest, sort of like when it was going to be Ti versus Jeezy? Is it a lack of interest?
Probably. It's probably a lack of interest when it comes to T.I. and 50. T.I. and Jeezy was definitely was probably more anticipated than 50 versus T.I.
But Gucci versus Jeezy just 10 times, 50, 20 times more anticipated than T.I. and Jeezy, even though they're two titans from ATL.
Facts.
Let me see.
Facts.
Iceberg says Game's going to lose anyways. He needs to relax and keep his measly 100K. That ain't shit for 50 anyways.
But that's why, like, you made the
Facts.
point, Megan. See, he kind of sold himself short by that saying 100K. You know, just thinking
He
that
did.
50 is worth what you got going on now. Why would you not say 100,000?
Bro, the budget could have been 700,000.
That's what I'm saying.
What was he
Facts.
thinking?
He shouldn't have threw. He shorthanded himself. He was better off doing the tour or something before he talk about some 100,000 for a versus.
Right, true. Right, doing the tour, whatever. You know,
Prophecy
build it up.
says, Prophecy Forever says 50 hands down. He is on Game's first 3 singles. How We Do, West Side Story, and Hate It or Love It. Yep. Let me see. School TV said 50 hands down.
Got 50. Look, everybody. I think everybody got 50.
G Big Valley says
Facts.
50 stopped caring after his second album and went on his video games. Yeah.
I think it was meant to say movies. Movie moves.
Okay, here we go. Where are we at, man? I'm trying to find. God damn, we have a lot of people tuning in with comments right now. This is awesome. Window Shopper or that verse he did over the Machiavelli beat. What are you talking about, Steve? Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're back. Deanie said, I understand being busy and all, but Gucci at that time and French being just the DVD dude, I'm sure Gucci's first move was to get French, but I'm sure someone talked Gucci into just laying his side. Yeah, who knows what happened in that situation? Deanie's actually bringing up the Gucci Man situation. He's saying that Gucci at the time and I understand being busy and all that, but Gucci at the time and French being just the DVD dude, I'm sure Gucci's first move was to get French, but I'm sure someone talked to Gucci into just laying his side. Yeah, after Gucci left, because when you're in that position, man, you're a multimillionaire. Your life is moving a mile a minute. You know what I mean? 1,000,000 miles a minute. So he could have went anywhere. He could have went to go get a plate of a lobster plate or something like that. He could have been going to a strip club, anything like that. But then, dude, he's with is like, yo, that's French Montana. That's the dude from New York, Cocaine City. It's the hottest shit out. That dude that you were in the bus with, Maserati Fox, actually messed with French. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. There was a video of Gucci Man and Maserati Fox in a tour bus together.
I remember that. Yeah. Gucci could have had a meeting with his
Facts.
lawyer.
I remember that.
You could have been meeting with his lawyer. Anything. And that's what this is like. You don't be having enough hours in the day. And then I can imagine with Gucci Man in that situation, he definitely ain't have enough hours in the day. So if he stepped out, whatever, the track is definitely gonna get done. The track definitely gonna get done. You know, and it goes to a story that I heard. You know, with California Love, when Dr. Dre and Roger Troutman was in there doing California Love, Roger Troutman brother was in there with him. It Suge Knight, and Suge said, you know, leave the reels, whatever, let Dre do his thing, and boom, boom. His brother was like, no, we ain't leaving off the reels or the money. Suge had to get with it. Now, if people had took that, we probably wouldn't get California Love today. So Suge already knew, like, no, leave that with Dre. Let Dre work his magic on there, and then we got California Love. So tracks don't always get done right then and there.
True.
Like Chris said, the engineer, the producer might not want to put it out, might want to mix it down a little bit more, might need to add this just to make it complete to where you like, this is the song I love.
Hell, he could have got the $5,000 and been like, "Oh, $5,000. This is exactly what I needed to go pay for this chain, and I got to go real quick." Anything like that, and that doesn't mean shit, man. I remember one time Scott Storch told me he left Janet Jackson in the studio for 3 hours. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying?
Boss, boss, that's
Damn.
boss right there.
That must have felt like 3 months for Janet Jackson. You're telling me French
Hell yeah.
Montana? You're telling me French can't wait 2 weeks for a goddamn Gucci feature? Come on, we're grown men, yo. But French is a real one.
Facts.
He never got on the internet complaining about Gucci, man. And he even said in this interview that him and Gucci are still good to this day. So let's see.
I never heard that, Mikey. T. Not to cut you off. I never heard this situation.
The
I never heard
situation about what?
that Gucci Man burnt First Montana for a verse. I've never heard that.
Yeah,
It
some
was
people were
never.
running with it. Some people were running with it for a minute, even though French Montana had Gucci pop up on the Straight Cash remix. It's like he paid him for a verse, but he paid him to get on a verse for his big song that he was putting out at the time. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was like it was for his big single after the Coke Wave series. Um, Steve
That's
Q
heavy.
said, so if they do the verses and then they do a G Unit reunion tour, it would be nice. But G Bigavelli says they tried the reunion thing like 5 years ago and it fell apart. They tried the reunion
Damn.
5 years ago with Kid Kid. You know, they brought Kid Kid in with all the original guys, Buck, Banks, and Yayo, and it really didn't work. Twiz, would it be any different with Game though?
It would be different with game when it comes to the G unit. As far as them, reuniting and things. If you could get, but like you said, bro, it's like so much going on with G Unit. But if it would be nice to get Banks and all of them, even if it's not a versus, just a reunion, bro. That would be, great for the hip hop culture, man. Like that would be a great thing.
Yeah, and I think
But let's be honest, Rosewood, the Game was never featured on any of the G Unit albums. He was not featured on Beg for Mercy. He was not featured on the Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack because he was gone by then. And obviously, he wasn't featured on Terminate on Sight. So he was not featured on any of the G Unit albums. So what are we talking about with the G Unit reunion?
now what we're talking about is definitely all the mixtape stuff that he has with G Unit. Because like I said, there were damn near albums. So when
I'm
Game,
so sorry. Remember that
yeah,
one?
yeah, definitely that. When Game first was, when they were pushing Game, they were pushing them heavy on the mixtape scene. 50 was all over everything that they were. It was almost like a G Unit project. So those are the songs. That's the vibe that the people are looking for. When you bring Game into a reunion with G. It's not about the beef. It's what they made when they were pushing Game. to get to where he was at. Those songs right there.
Iceberg says walk like when you walk a poodle, aka getting
Facts.
dragged.
Facts, Iceberg. You already know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
guys, this
I
is
had
one that we did not say. I'm shocked that you guys didn't say it. You said you'd like to see Rick Ross versus him, Ja Rule versus 50, T.I. not so much. Now, Twiz, you said T.I. not so much. That's why I'm going to come to you first. But how about Meek Mill? Meek Mill, not so much? Or Meek Mill versus 50? Yes, please.
I couldn't really see that happen, and that's like saying Meek Mill versus Hove or somebody like that. Like Meek got bangers, but it's different levels. You know what I mean? Like just like Meek said, it's levels to this shit. And Meek and 50, you know, me myself, I couldn't see them doing the verses. It's other new and young and upcoming artists that come from like Meek era that might be a better verses for Meek.
Right.
You agree with that, Rosewood?
Yeah, I feel because it's different eras, and like Twiz said, I think there's other artists in Meek's sort of era when he came in, or even now that he could go against that would be better suited to 50 Cent because it's like going up against a juggernaut. 50 Cent is a juggernaut at this, you know, in all aspects of entertainment now. So to bring it back to that, 50's definitely going to get in his hip hop bag. You know, 50's a hip hop historian. You know, he
Facts.
always credited himself with being a hip hop historian, taking it back to the old school, giving props to those guys and how he formulated his
Oh,
style.
boom, right here. Mars said it. Would Meek Mill versus Lloyd Banks be more acceptable?
Banks also from a different era. I could see somebody, and not to jump eras too much, but I could see more like a Meek versus Kodak Black or something like that. Somebody that's like, you know, for the new younger era and things like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, even though Meek was out way before Kodak, but Meek versus Banks, like Banks is a lyrical monster,
I
and
wanted to see not to cut you off towards I wanted to see Banks and Bad.
yeah, that would have been a good John right there. Even Fab or Beast, you know what I'm saying? So is Banks. So that's more like it right there.
I wanted to see Banks and Bad. I really did. I really did. I wanted to see Banks and Bad. I think me. I think I would for me. See now the thing is, I don't think it would garner the fanfare, but I would like to see like Meek versus J Cole. You know, something like that. It's two different
Okay.
styles, but they're coming in at the same era, and they're still here today. You know, I don't think it would get the
All
fanfare because J Cole doesn't really market, but I would like to see that.
Ooh,
that
Deanie
would be
said
heavy.
versus his catalog. Game is killing 50 besides his first two.
That's why I saw that. That's what I was referring to in the comment. I saw that, and that, uh, I can't say that, man. I can't say that.
Yeah, I
Game
can't.
more lyrical. Game will win.
The game is
Nah,
not more lyrical than 50 Cent.
nah,
He's not more
nah.
lyrical. 50 Cent mixtapes is more lyrical than anything that Game ever thought was
Fact,
lyrical. We don't even got to
fact,
talk albums.
fact.
All right, guys. Komodo says so. Basically, everybody agrees 50 was better when he was underground. 50 better underground. Power of the dollar. Guess who's back in the mixtapes? Or Get Rich or Die Trying in the Massacre. Which one for you guys?
All of us together. All of us together for me. It's all one. There really is no separation. Like I said, 50 was the first one to invent
Get
making the mixtape like an album.
You're right.
Nobody was doing that before. Nobody had that format. Nobody had that formula.
Those four projects right there, but also all the mixtapes like All Eyes on Me, you know what I mean? Like all the G Unit mixtapes as well. But those four official projects, Power of the Dollar, Guess Who's Back, Get Rich, and Massacre is really the best part of 50's career. So probably, I guess we're saying 19. We're saying, what are we saying? 2000 to 2005 or 1999 to 2005?
9905. 9905.
Probably
Yeah,
even 06.
that's.
Probably
I
even
feel
06, yeah.
I feel like Get Rich or Die Trying was 50 last material of him being hungry, as far as understanding that he had to put footprints in the ground. He had Dre and Eminem over top of his head, where he had to prove himself. Anything after Get Rich or Die Trying, he was laid back because he was already successful. But you got tracks like 50 did, like somebody said in the comments earlier, the joint when he was talking about robbing everybody, that was like pretty much more powerful than anything Game ever spit. That was a
How to
story. You could
Rob.
see it happening.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts. How to rob. That joint was dangerous. He
Dang,
was hungry.
that's a fact right there. That's a fact. That track right there, playing
Hmm.
that track alone, that goes
Yeah.
at the whole industry.
Salute my guy, yo, Body Bag Bricks, GMG Moolah. Is that you, my G? Let me know, bro. Let me know, bro, if you want to tap in. If that's my guy that I met with Shay Davis.
That's a
uh,
fact. Mikey really be outside.
Iceberg said the game must pay 7.1 in damages to a reality dating show contestant. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about that, but that's one of the
Heard about
reasons.
that. So why would he sell himself short then? That's how I understand. Why would you sell yourself short for 100 racks? That's
Because he
not real
probably wants
smart.
it in cash, Rosewood.
Doesn't matter. Like
That's a
Twitter said,
fact.
you could have did other things to garner money to build up promotion and money for you to get a way bigger bag when you go against 50 Cent.
Facts. And he still
Like you
got Wet
said, y'all
100
say he should
supporting
have
him
kept it
100%.
behind, closed doors.
Chase Moolah, what's up, bro?
Chase, Moolah, what up, my J? Yeah,
Salute to the
he should
real,
have kept
man.
it behind closed doors, man.
What about when we're talking eras? Jadakiss verse 50?
We can put it up
It
there.
gotta be Kiss
I'll,
versus Beans, like Rosebud said earlier.
Right,
yeah.
It have to
right.
be Kiss versus Beans.
And I don't think we ever going to get a 50 versus Josh, so the next best thing will be 50 versus Rick Ross.
Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bastard
I don't compare Max B to Wiz. What do you guys think? Some people are in there talking about Wiz took Max B's wave. Is there any similarity, Rosewood, in your opinion, to their music? I don't find there to be.
What they were saying.
I don't.
I remember back when this was first being talked about. It was basically the rapping and the harmonizing. You know, when Wiz started, like, cause you had Black and Yellow, and then like everything that he came out where he's talking about smoking weed, it's sort of like, harmonizing on the hook, and then
Yeah,
you rap.
all right. So
That,
what would he
Max
do?
B was the first person
I
to do it.
roll up, I roll up, I roll up. Anytime you call me, I roll up. That wasn't Max B, man.
No, but he has other songs where, like I said, he's harmonizing on the hook, and then he's rapping in the song. He has a lot of smoking songs like that. If you check out Wiz Khalifa's mixtape, he has a lot of songs where he talk about smoking, and he's really harmonizing on the hook. And they say Max B is the originator of doing that, and he went to jail, and then Wiz Khalifa is up and coming. He said, "Oh, you took Max's whatever," but I don't think he did. I think that was just Wiz Khalifa being creative. And at the same time, people listen to other artists. You get inspired by other artists. That's always been the case. Tupac will tell you that about Ice Cube and Ice T. So Ice T will tell you that about Schoolie D. So it's
I
always
really I
inspiration.
really love all the support that Wiz shows Max B though, man. Even with that whole album with Kanye, Wiz kind of came out to the public and said, "Yo, no, Max B is the guy who made everyone pay attention to the word waves. So you got to show Max B some respect." So I really appreciate that. as a fan of Wiz because, he has a level of popularity. He might even at a certain point in time, Wiz was probably more popular than French. You know what I mean? So, like, the bigger the name, putting your French always puts Max's name out there. So when you got somebody else out there doing it, it just means so much more.
Facts. That is true. Mm-hmm.
All
And
right.
then coming from somebody like Wiz Khalifa, nobody's really expecting Wiz Khalifa to say that about Max B. They look at Wiz Khalifa as being more conservative, not really talking or speaking out about certain
True.
things.
It's like, yo, Wiz, you got so many sponsors. You really want to speak out about Max B? He's like, yes, I do. That's what, and I really like that, man.
Paying homage.
You know what I mean? I really like that shit. You know what I mean? Because when I get my major deal, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, yo, it's AR Rab over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got to keep it real in this shit, in this game, man.
It's about paying homage, Mikey T. And
Facts.
it's been like that from the essence of hip hop.
Facts.
As hip hop grew, and then the old school became the new school, the new school became the old school. It's just always paying homage because it always goes back to those core basics, those core five elements of hip hop. It always goes back to that, no matter what we put out
And,
here in the public.
and and speaking on homage is very important because a lot of new and upcoming young artists, they don't pay homage to certain rappers where they would just be like, "Oh, I ain't listening to him. Like he ain't nothing to our culture." You know what I'm talking about? Like, so homage is very important.
That is
But
true.
all right, you guys, I want everybody, I'm going to let the guys do our plugs now. And we're also going to take final questions. Everybody that has a final question, put your final questions up right now. But I want everybody to go follow my guy, Rosewood. But Rosewood, let everybody know your plugs, man. Let everybody know how they can get in contact with you. Also, anything else you want to promote right now, brother.
Yeah, definitely, man. Shout out to my guy, OBH Razor, Big Project dropping soon.
Er,
No, you already know. Spill Entertainment website, probably drop soon. We out here fully working, definitely always. Definitely working with the community, trying to make things better in the city at the same time, bringing prosperity back to the city on the hip hop scene. You know, follow me on Instagram. If you got anything to say, hit me up, DM me. If there's any business you want to send me, the Gmail is Rosewood spillant.com. So anything you want to send me, you can email me straight to the web .com. Website be up soon, and we're gonna be doing our thing, man. Always on one, staying honorable out here, my J. You gotta do that, man. Shout out to you, Mikey T, and the whole everybody that's tapping into the Report Bar Radio. Like and share, subscribe, man. SB Twiz all day, man. Shout out to the whole bill, man. Shout out
you
to my guy,
already.
RP, Big Ted, my pop, Street Cumberville, Southside. You already know what it is. Salute.
I want
You
everybody to
already.
follow Rosewood right now. I've got his Instagram up here. I've got the interview with Snyp Life pinned. So after this stream, go check out the official interview part 1 with Snyp Life. Again, we are taking all of your final questions right now. Twiz, I'm throwing up SV Twiz's Instagram. Everybody on here, follow SV Twiz for a follow back. But Twiz, also throw out all your plugs, man.
All right, I'm saying first and foremost, before I throw my plugs up, after I throw my plugs up, I just got a question to ask both of y'all. I just wanted to throw that out there. But
What's up,
you know what I'm
brother?
saying? To throw my plugs up, man, this SV Twiz, I'm gonna ask you at the end. I'm about to throw the plugs up. But this SV Twiz, the hood blogger, follow me _Twiz 215. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Go show some love, DM. I'm open for the networking. I'm an upcoming blogger from the city of Philly, the hood blogger. Keep the content raw to the curve and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Working on short films and things like that, and eventually plan on shooting full movies. in the future. So much love and respect to everybody in here. Make sure y'all continue to stay tuned to the most lit, you know what I'm saying, YouTube channel that's out here right now. My guy Mikey T Report Card Radio. He keep it a stack. He show love to everybody. He a generous guy, man. He give everybody equal opportunity, man. And I gotta salute you for that. But
Appreciate
the
it, man.
question that you already, Mikey, much love. So salute M1 ENT, you already. So I just got a question for you in Rosewood, and not to stretch the stream out too much, because I meant to ask earlier during when we were speaking on battle rap. How do y'all feel about Drake involvement to the battle rap culture?
Rosewood, you want to tap on this first?
Yeah, because that's a good question, Twiz. And I've been just observing that. And I think with Drake, I think it's another form of paying homage. Because that's one thing I give Drake. When it comes to hip hop, something that's core hip hop, Drake always pays homage and he shows that he's a fan. That he's a fan of it. And that would definitely bring, you know, more spotlight, but I think it will raise the bar now that you have to bring, a higher caliber of raps and technique to this now because you have a Drake watching, and he might form, a battle group, not say like a league. So he forms a group of battlers that goes to these different leagues, killing everybody. So there's so many things that you can add with Drake's presence and influence and ideas coming to battle rap because he's coming as a fan and not somebody like, oh, I'm a superstar and y'all, I'm just enjoying this. Just entertainment. No, he said, I'm coming as a fan. I'm gonna watch. I love this right there. That's the honorable thing. So salute to Drake for even being on that scene. Good questions, man. I've been deserving that, man. I've been deserving that.
Appreciate it.
And
Facts.
yeah, let me give my thoughts
Salute,
on this,
Steven.
man. It's interesting to see that a few years ago Drake supported the battle rap community, but it's even more interesting to see that right after the pandemic ends and they're back to, doing their thing on URL, that Drake is right there. Right after the pandemic is over, Drake is right there busting down some money between two of the best battle rappers in the industry right now with Geechee Gotti and Rum Nitty. Rum Nitty, personally, my favorite battle rapper of the moment right now. Ever since seeing him live, he's really been my favorite battle rapper. So I feel like, Drake involving himself in the culture, it's just like how he goes to all the basketball games, Twiz. It's kind of like similar to that. Like he gets up
Facts.
there and he gets close with the basketball players just like he does with the battle rappers. Twiz, why do you think he treats it like that, man? He sort of treats some of these battle rappers like he's dealing with, rest in peace, Kobe himself.
To me, I just feel like it's the love of hip hop. It's no different than, if we notice and we check back to old interviews before Drake was famous, he had a heavy love for hip hop. And for him to be the level that he is now and coming down to the smack events, even the time where he challenged Murder Mook to a battle, I feel like he has a special love and passion for hip hop and music, period, and that's why his music is so great because he's open to everything. I wouldn't be surprised, within the next couple years with him like, featured on a rock and roll track or something because I feel like he's so versatile and open to everything. He's a one of a kind person. So a big salute to him.
Yeah.
Rosewood, Twiz said a rock and roll track. Drake does a considerable amount of features, man. Is Drake going to do a feature with Sue Surf, or do you not see that happening?
It depends on what the track is. That's the whole thing. It depends on what the track is and what the sound is coming out. If it's something that fits them two together, it's gonna be pushed. Or if it's something that Drake can hop on and then formulate to the whatever style, then it's gonna go. So it can. I won't say it can't happen. I won't say that. And I would. Hopefully, I hope Drake will be collabing with battle artists. That's why I said it will step up their caliber of bars and technique to where you can get your songs, out of this with Drake and other artists too. Really merging the mainstream with the underground.
That's what's
And I
up.
don't think Drake ever stopped. I don't think he ever stopped watching really battle rap. I don't think he really stopped being in tune. I think he always stayed in tune with it. That's
Facts.
something he definitely does. Just always a fan of. He always checks it out.
Yeah, the thing about it is really, it's like, okay, he could get a song with Drake.
Hans.
He could get a song with Drake, but will it get released? I mean, like Twiz was alluding to earlier, a lot of songs are recorded, or was it you, Rosewood? A lot of songs are recorded that never see the light of day, songs that people put money into, you know what I mean? Songs that labels put money into that just don't end up getting released because of either some sort of label differences, clearances, or sometimes artists just don't live up to the hype and they just trash the idea. So, I mean, I think if Drake were to work with Sue Surf, it would more than likely have to be like a passion project. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the sound still would have to be right. It would
Yeah,
have to be
sound as
right.
well.
Yeah, so it would have to be right.
Facts.
Yeah, and like you said, it could be definitely a passion project. Because who knows if it ever get dropped? They can have several songs together that we possibly can never hear. You know,
Facts.
Yeah, let me see.
who's to say they don't have
Salute
a
to
song
Bon
right now?
Simmons though. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
Yeah, G Bigavelli. Yeah, salute to Bon Simmons. We're taking the last question right now. G Bigavelli says Mook said why him and Drake didn't battle on No Jumper recently. Yeah, I don't, man. I don't know, man. I don't think that was a battle that was really. Drake's not really entertaining that. Drake is making too much money off of touring to entertain that, I think. But like I said, it's all about passion. Komodo says we got Mikey T on the track. Is that going to be a new? Is that going to be a new little thing that you play on all the beginning of your records?
Facts.
Yeah. But I really appreciate everybody tapping in on the live tonight. I put it up. Final questions, man. It looks like we got everything pretty much down packed tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with another update, though, y'all. Major salute to everybody for tuning in. And I think we're gonna get out of here tonight. Major salute. Jada or Styles, man. Come on, man. That's a question that has been asked for decades at this point. But everybody in here, I want y'all to follow me back right now. Follow Mikey T for a follow. Everybody that follows me right now, I will follow you back on the gram. Again, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Thanks to my co-host SV Twiz. Thanks to my co-host Rosewood. I'm the kid Mikey T, the movie star. You know what they call me? The most hated yet anticipated Mikey T, the movie star. Everybody follow me on the gram, and we'll see you tomorrow night for another episode.